Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dad Into Dev, joined as always by Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese, and once again, the promised returns to us. Delvin Cox is back in the building. He's here with us, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you today, sir?
Right. So what I missed? Anything interesting happen?
Nah, not really. Not much.
Yeah, pretty much. That much.
Nothing really happened. Also joining us all the way from the PlayStation experience is none other than Hayley, the Platinum Princess herself. How are you tonight?
I agree with Donnie. I'm tired.
Why are all the goddamn letters so goddamn big on the screen? Like it's covering my face up.
They're always that big. That's what you missed.
There you go.
There you go. We'll cover up Donnie instead.
That
People are here for Delvin.
No, they're not. Not even a little bit. Hey, T.
Yeah, they are. No. So yeah, you've been gone for a while, man. Do you want to cue the people in, or you just want to just keep it rolling?
I can cue the people in because I'm keeping 100. I have not played any video games.
There it is.
Life has been shit. It has been terrible. As we speak right now, there is a storm of some sort that is causing flooding all over South Florida that I had to drive through to get back here so I can be here for this show. And I made it just in time, baby. Got my
just in time
super coffee. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Sorry, did that say Arizona on it?
No, it says super coffee extra coffee and energy. It's multiple X's. So figured, whatever. But yeah.
The more X's the better, Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not having that conversation. But yes, for those who were curious what was going on, I had multiple family tragedies. All at one this is fucking insane. All at one point in time. Like for those who know me very well, I've talked about on this show, my grandmother passed. And I'm very, very close to my grandmother. It was a tragedy. It was sad. Had to deal with that. Had to handle all the affairs for that because I was, in charge of that part of the equation. But right before she passed, my father-in-law passed. My kid's granddad. He just out of the blue. No one expected it. So it was like a wild situation with that whole thing. And then on top of that, while all this was happening, my dad got sick. This was
of all the things.
Yeah. And this all happened in the span of I want to say, well, to be completely transparent, from March to now has been awful. Legendarily bad. So let me start from the beginning. Before all this stuff happened, the company I worked for, that I worked with my grandma for years, closed down in March, the end of March. So for about a month, I didn't know where the fuck I was going to work at.
Right.
Fortunately, we worked something out, and my grandmother, because the people she trained, the people who own the building next door to do the same job. So they're like, just take him in there and let him work with y'all, and we'll work there together. And she's supposed to work there with me. I was going to still be running the company under that same thing. And Chalfie just said, go listen to Tell Me to tell the whole story in full. I'm just giving an abridged version of it. But what happened was I started working there, and my grandmother worked there for a week. Got sick, and essentially never came back to work. It was just a crazy situation. And when everything became a lot and the reason why I couldn't be on the podcast for all those weeks because I was just in the hospital every day with her until her last moments. Because like I said, she raised me. The building I'm in right now, I literally grew up in this building. I worked here as a kid. I worked here when I was 10 years old. I would come in here and file paperwork and stuff for $20 to go get this is how I used to earn my gaming money, working in this office. And now this company is out of business because what happened was the owner of the building died. So her granddaughter, and they also had I can't forget what you call it right now. they were the because I work in property management. They basically had the lease to manage the company. It was their company, but my grandmother ran the thing completely. They just had their name attached to it. Once they died, we couldn't use their name no more. Can't use the building anymore.
Wow.
So we had to kind of scramble to fix that issue. We were going to use my grandmother's name, but they didn't want to use the building. They were like, because the person who owned the building was like, we don't want to use that no more. We don't want to do that anymore. So can't do that. You can't. We don't know if you're going to be able to stay in the property anymore. I'm like, oh, that's a weird thing since we've known each other for since I was a kid. That's forever. It became like a thing. It became a big problem. Damn. It was stressing out the whole family. Like I said, I didn't have a job. Well, that didn't last long. That was like a day. Didn't have a job. Almost didn't have a place to stay. So it became just a lot. All in a matter of, say, months.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this happened at one time. Then my grandma got sick. I was at the hospital with her every day. Then, my kids, granddad died. And it's just, it was a wild situation, man. I just had to take time off to handle all those affairs. It was a lot because, you're planning a funeral. Then you have to come up with the money for the funeral. And then you have to deal with egos and things like that. And then a lot of situations happened that made it worse. I'll give you one. Yeah, I'll give you one. So, my grandmother's because my grandmother decided to come home and do hospice for her final day. She wanted to die at her house, which I did not want.
Yeah, it's never fun.
Yeah, but she forgot to sign her will.
Oh no!
Because she had a will. So the lawyer, who was her friend, came to the house to get her to sign it. And while she was signing it, he decides for some reason to read the will off in front of everybody.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes. So you can imagine how much stress and drama that caused because that situation happened.
Jesus.
It was a lot, family members fighting and because of they perceived what they thought they should have got and what they didn't get. And it became just a wild situation. So wild to the point where I'll tell this story. While I'm not going to name names, fuck them for doing this shit. But while my grandmother was in her final days, I saw the writing on the wall because shit started disappearing out the house.
Oh no! God damn!
So I just as soon as I saw that shit happening, I went to the store and bought locks and changed the locks while people was in the fucking house. And they're like, "Oh, you changed locks?" Yeah, it's my house now. Suck my dick.
There it is.
That was, that was, and people got the message loud and clear. Then stop playing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting. Few months. Didn't really get to play video games. The only thing I really got to play, it was I was playing Hellblade, which is fantastic. I was really enjoying my time with that. I was playing Stellar Blade, which I was liking a lot. But it was one of those situations where every time I would get into something or a moment to rest, something would happen to stop me from playing it. It was like, oh my God, what's happening now? So I just, but otherwise than that, I've been okay. Starting the moving process now because I'm moving, I'm moving my stuff to the new. I now own a house that's fully paid for, which is crazy to think about. But, yeah. So I'm moving things to the house. I fixing it up the way I want it to be fixed up and the way that she would want it to be fixed up. And the first thing I moved over there was, besides the arcade cabinets, I moved them over there.
Of course.
Yeah. I moved my PlayStation over there, thinking I'm going to have time to play the PlayStation. And of course, in typical Delvin fashion, right? I moved my on my PlayStation. I'm like, I'm gonna start playing the PlayStation over here while I'm or watching stuff on it. But I also had disconnected the cable, because fuck that, I wasn't paying for that cable over her house and my house. So I was like, I'll disconnect that, right? And I took the boxes back to Comcast. And then I get back to turn the PlayStation, right? I'm like, why is the internet not fucking working?
Yeah, exactly.
They disconnected the internet as well. Don't know why they did that. They just chose to disconnect it. And then
welcome to Comcast.
And they disconnected it in a way where I would still be paying for it, but I would get no internet. Like they just deactivated the box. I'm like, yo, y'all can't be playing with me. And of course, because my son was a game share with me, my PlayStation did not work without internet. Like this goddamn kid. So I was just sitting there staring at a blank screen. I'm like, fuck this.
In the box.
This is terrible.
I had that issue last weekend, actually. The internet went out here and I couldn't play because Donnie's my game share partner.
Yeah. That's the problem. You ain't got the home console. You're pretty... No, that's not true. You could play my games.
I could play Stellar Blade, which was
Hot Shots Golf, baby. You are set. You are good to go, Hayley. All the Hot Shots Golf you could ever want to play. I don't understand why you need anything else. What are you talking about? You got all the game you could ever want.
All I had downloaded from your account is Stellar Blade. So,
well, that's poor planning on your part.
Game to play. Yeah,
should have 100% got on everybody's golf immediately.
Yeah, you messed up, Hayley.
Delvin, I gotta ask, when Grandma didn't sign the will, what does that look like in a state?
They made her sign it.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. I thought you meant like it legit didn't get signed at all. I was like, that is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, that's how the will got read, because on her dying bed, they went there, had her sign off on it.
I got you. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't track that. I thought that was after. I thought it was like post.
Oh, no, that was
signed.
Like literally, like I want to say a week before she passed.
Okay.
When she was still of like sound body and mind, they had her sign.
At least that business was taken care of, because I mean, it sounds like grandmother had a lot to pass down, and as you've already witnessed, sometimes families rip each other apart. My family ripped themselves apart, rifling through what little my grandmother had. She definitely didn't have property, but like my aunts and uncles, and they still don't. There's still a divide. This happened 8 years ago. They still don't talk. They didn't talk since. I have 2 aunts that I haven't spoke since that day. And I was out of it. I do mind you, I was completely neutral. But because I was neutral, I was the bad side. And like, we haven't spoke since, family.
Wow.
I've had many of those problems already.
Yeah.
And I can't tell like with who. But I've been having to diffuse fires with people and arguments and stuff like that. And it was like the movie Soul Food, Dev.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh boy, ain't nothing
lucky.
can tear you apart like family, man. I tell you,
I'm very lucky. Melissa's family, they see a big value in this. Is a big deal for them, to where not only do Melissa's parents have all of their stuff taken care of, they actually paid to take care of all of their kids' stuff too. So like, nice. We're done. The in-laws are done. Like they were like, no, we're not going to be doing this, and they could be fighting over shit. Like it's all preordained.
Since you mentioned that, I'm going to give everybody a PSA. Plan out your funeral.
Yeah.
Put money aside for it, because I'm telling you straight up, facts is facts. My grandmother did. My father-in-law didn't. My grandmother's funeral, over $20,000.
Yep.
Wow.
And it wasn't a big funeral.
My
father-in-law, $18,000.
Yeah.
And she didn't have any money for it, so I had to pay some of it.
Jeez.
Because he wouldn't have got buried.
My mother and my father both died, and neither one of them had any estate to pull from. My dad had a truck that I sold for $3,000, but my dad's funeral was $14,000, and my mother's was $8,000, and that was 10, 15 years ago at this point now, right? So I had to pay for both of those out of pocket. Like, that's just me. It wasn't like a family split. It wasn't divided 5 or 10 ways. That was just me. I was 20-year-old me. Just had to eat that.
Yeah, nah, man.
That's why I've always
cremated. There was only the cremation cost involved,
and it was $8,000.
Why?
We still had a ceremony.
Yeah, see, we had the ceremony at my church, so therefore there was no cost involved.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine $20,000 for a funeral. Like that's just like that.
My dad was actual the whole thing, the casket, the plot, the church, the ceremony. Like it was the whole ordeal. But yeah,
my grandma. Yeah. But she was cremated as well. But they had to have the ceremony with the casket and stuff. You have to rent the casket.
Mm-hmm.
You have to rent the place, and you have to
do really nickel and dime the shit out of people. And it's almost predatory. Like at least that's how it felt. Like, I mean, that's how it felt to me when I was 20. I was very ill prepared to be in a room making those decisions.
It's completely predatory. It should not cost money to die. Like that's just insane.
Yeah.
Well, it costs a lot.
Yeah, it's going to cost me not a whole lot. Look, cremate me, do the ceremony at the church, and then go find a basketball court and sprinkle my ashes there. Call it a day.
I don't want me in the woods in the backyard or something.
Yeah, I don't want to plot. I don't need none of that. There's absolutely no purpose in having a body in the ground. Like, what is that? No, thank you. Like,
it's a burden to pass on to those you leave behind. You want that taken care of ahead of time. You don't want them to be frightened about stuff like that.
I have a question. Is putting a casket in the ground like bad? Is that like pollution?
Probably.
No, I mean it's usually it's made out of, most of them are made out of wood, right?
Sure.
Some of like the brass fittings and stuff like that, but it's all I think most of the materials are earth materials, like they're going to disintegrate or, kind of retake by the earth.
Don't click that.
I wouldn't. I don't think anybody would. We have mods. Yeah. Somebody clean that up.
RD, whatever the fuck your name is, suck a dick. There you go.
I mean, it's a bot. They're not even a thing. It's just a bot. Yeah.
No, I know, but like
the bots are going to ruin the internet if you haven't already seen that. If
what do you mean gonna? They're already ruining the
happening. So,
Melissa says it is pollution because it's lined in concrete.
There we go.
I mean, my dad surely wasn't. Nobody would have been able to lift that motherfucker if it was.
Yeah. I feel like what's the point in putting bodies in the ground? Like I feel like that's just
biodegradable water cremation. What's that?
See, smart actually. Don't get my wife started. She'll just go down the drain. She'll try to school you. She'll be here the whole Wikipedia page in 2 minutes if you don't get off. Just let her.
Hey, she can send it to me. I don't care. I'd like to know.
That. Oh, well, we can get her invited into the Discord and she can school you after the show. Don't flood the chat with this shit. It's video games.
Is it?
No, it's supposed to be.
Said, damn it, Mel, get out of here with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have her damn beautiful mind on cemeteries right now. She's fucking go powder on everybody. You got to understand her brain. It's not like everybody else's brain, okay? It's beautiful. I love it, but it's superior. It's completely broken. So.
Much like Delvin's haircut, broken.
Much.
I wasn't about to.
I have hair now, but it's just terrible. Like
I have hair now, but it's terrible.
You got to give the people the side profile. You got to show them everything. You got to show the lineup, dude.
Absolutely not.
Earlier, and I just died laughing.
Homie, like he just like, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. If I could fight and like not go to jail for it, I would have. But
you look like you've been in jail. Like that's
yeah. Why didn't you just cut it all off after this? Like this has got to go. We got to start over.
Because my son's like, Dad, you have hair now. It's like, yeah.
That sounds like Delvin Jr.
And we got Daniel piling on. Man, we can't be having this man have the month of all months. He comes back here and y'all immediately just rag on my man.
Yeah, y'all are really pieces of shit.
I was ragging on him regardless. This is what this is our relationship.
Sitting with the fro pictures, like right out of the gate. He's like, welcome back.
Time has passed. Let's get back. Here you go, Delvin. It made him laugh. That was the whole purpose.
That's true. You did break the ice.
I should have came back on Nintendo shit.
I can 100% see it. You log in, Rebecca's like, "What's with your head?"
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, either way, we're glad you're back, Delvin.
Yeah.
Even if you need to take more time,
made it alive.
It's all good.
You're
alive.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
I am alive.
Through. You're on the other side.
Yeah, but 2024 is still young. We'll see.
That's true. That's so true.
Very true.
You guys see the Russian ships in Cuba?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Like,
let's go.
Delvin's got a storm.
Do that.
We just Russian ships real close.
Just drive all the way over here? Like, what the? we couldn't cut them off, but you better take this shit back over there. We'll be bringing the shit over here.
Cuba is very close to Miami.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we are fucked.
Cuba might as well be Miami. As many Cubans are there, it might as well be.
How much so?
Jesus. Yeah. Well, I've just been playing Destiny, so that's all I have to say on the matter. It's been great. I'm back. Destiny is great, and I'm gonna play that all summer long. I'm very, very excited. Donnie is exhausted. Haley, have you been doing anything fun?
Yes, I have. I've made it to Matrix 11 in Stellar Blade.
Okay.
I think the first area after the first open world map section.
Yeah.
So I'm fun with that. I'm level 82 in Diablo 4 now.
Lord Jesus.
I finished my battle pass today. So that was fun. Also played for like an hour with my boss and a coworker. So we ran a tier 56 nightmare dungeon, which is level 110 enemies.
You made all that up. That doesn't sound like real words.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Sounds made up.
And then I've re-downloaded Dragon Age
video games. Like just the word battle pass is what's wrong with the entire industry. She's like, I'm on level 86. I killed 10 times. Like, this is what's wrong with all of it.
I re-downloaded Dragon Age Inquisition.
That's why we have 18 Concords.
Don't worry, they'll all be over soon.
Will they?
That's true.
Yeah, it will be.
That sweet Serenity's on the way.
Russia's in Cuba. It's all going downhill from here.
I've downloaded Dragon Age with the intention of replaying it as we lead up to Veilguard, which I'm very excited for. And then I've been playing Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
PS2 games now on PS5.
Yes.
For like $40.
No.
How much
Sly Cooper is 10. Tomb Raider is as Delvin said, $40.
Are you fucking serious?
No, it is like $30 or $40.
PS2 copy of Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
it's $40.
Like $30 or $40. Yeah,
it's like 30.
And they're really like looking at Nintendo the hell out of this shit.
It still plays at like 480p.
480i, yes, 480p. Yep.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Sly Cooper is only $10, or included with your PlayStation Plus premium account, which is
I've
how
never
I've
really got into Sly. I never really played Sly Cooper.
It's a fun time.
Neither have I.
I probably should have. That's like their favorite PlayStation game. Sly Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard people, wax about it for a long time, wanted to come back. I almost played it on Vita. Like while I had the Vita, I was aware that like it was a thing, but I never actually bought it. So
fun.
No, it's a fun time.
I won't be paying. I won't be playing it in 480. I'll tell you that. If I wanted to play it, I would put that bad boy in PCX. Play that like it's intended. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's I had to go into the emulator settings and invert the sticks though, because it's one of the older games where the horizontal camera was inverted by default.
That's some Canadian shit.
Thought that was a good idea.
Canada, blame Canada for all that. Yeah. I was a little, not like I wasn't surprised, but like maybe just slightly disappointed to hear that like after all of the hubbubaloo about PS2 games and PS5 that the emulation is still kind of what it was on PS4. Like it is just kind of like the bare minimum.
Actually, it's funny you bring up PS4. Speaking of Sly Cooper, the PS4 version of this emulation runs faster than it is intended to.
That is
and
upsetting.
Looks out of place.
Because like Nintendo by no means is like the best at this. Yeah. But even on the Switch with NSO, they are upgraded ROMs. Mm-hmm. They have widescreen support. They have updated textures. There is like some post-processing. They have, it's got the, like they've done a little. They've done they've done something to it to make it like seem worth it. And PlayStation was like, nah, you can have this.
I'm happy that here you go.
They believe so much in Generations that you will experience that bitch exactly the way that you did in the
I'm playing this game and there's black borders all over the side. It's like
where I wonder, like, I would be interested to know if like some of the emulation people on YouTube, if they would I wonder if they would be like, it's actually better on PS, like just get a PS2 instead. I could see that.
I'm sure it is.
I probably would say that.
Like my memory of PS4, because I bought Twisted Metal and the GTA games. And they're terrible. The PS4 copies of those were terrible. Like there was a lot of ghosting and late, like it was just bad, and like it was stretched. And it was like, God.
So
it's so easy. The emulation
of this game,
we've been emulating PlayStation and PS2 games for a decade.
Yeah, it's running at like such a high frame rate that there is ghosting in the PS4 version, but there's not in the PS5. I don't understand it. It's weird.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that in the GTA thing. It was like super weird. You could see like a hologram trail as you like ran across the screen. It was like all of a sudden you were playing what was that damn game? I was gonna say it and I forgot the name of it. The damn Xbox game you like so much, Hayley. Where the character goes around and stuff like that. The TV series game. The one with the episodes.
Quantum Break. Quantum Break.
That's it. Yeah, it was like Quantum Break, GTA Vice City. Quantum Break.
Good game.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty upsetting to see that they did
that. Actually, speaking of Remedy, I intended to start the Alan Wake DLC, but then work's been interesting. So had to do a pet store last night, so that was fun.
That's fun.
And they win your wheelchair job too, Hayley?
1 turtle. Pardon? 2 turtle. 3 turtle.
What was that, Delvin?
Now we counting turtles.
Yeah. No, we don't count live animals. We just count like the food and like
all dead?
Cages and
we don't count live animals. We do have a pile in the back that we do have a pile in the back that we do count, but we don't count the live.
Count those either. It was funny. My boss had to come up and go, Stop looking at the animals. Do your job. Like 4 people last night.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that being a problem. You couldn't put me in a pet store and not expect me to like play with all the dogs.
Like literally, I caught one coworker go from the other side of the store to look at hamsters, and then the other one was like, "I'm gonna go look at the fish," and my boss was like, "Keep counting."
I would just like put a kitten in my pocket and then walk around counting, like with a kitten in my hoodie.
I don't think you'd even need to do that. I think the kittens would just jump in your hood.
That works. Yeah, I would just walk around like I got some cats, and the boss would yell at me, "But look, I'm counting. Mind your business." Look, I counted.
Definitely the crazy cat.
They're short a couple kittens. I don't know what happened, but
hey man, the cost to adopt a cat, if you get 4 of them in your pocket, you've made out.
Well, they come by my house and get plenty of cats.
Oh, that's right. You've got
he's got like 40. It's not the only thing he inherited.
Now they're really his cats. Can you get rid of the parrot now, Delvin? Are we keeping the parrot? What are we doing here?
You gotta keep the parrot.
I'll have to keep the parrot.
Yeah, you gotta keep the parrot.
Absolutely not.
What? Yeah, I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
He's 20 fucking cats.
He's about to be at the weed and feed store buying cat food in bulk. He'll be buying cat food by like the 80-pound bag here in a few bits. Like
20 cats, 3 dogs, and a goddamn parrot.
Hold on. How many litter boxes for 20 cats?
They're outside. They just live outside.
Oh.
They're outside and they have 2 litter boxes outside.
Oh.
And do they still know that when you come outside, it's dinner time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Food boy. All the cats in our house, they love Jack because Jack feeds them. So we call him Food Boy. And the moment he steps out of his room, the cats go insane. Like, Food Boy's moving. They all just
Food Boy's here.
Yep. And as soon as he feeds them, they don't care anything about him anymore.
That's actually not true. They love him. And they love his room. You know, like I think we talked about on the show a couple years ago. Like we upgraded Jack's room a couple years ago for like Christmas or his birthday or something. We got him this really nice, like fancy, like futon with like this big futon bed. The cats love it. They love, like, he usually keeps his door closed, but anytime he opens it, even a little bit, they're like, we're napping with Jack. Like they try to pile in the bed.
We want the futon.
Yeah.
Food boy futon. Let's go.
Mm.
Have you been up to anything, Donnie, that you feel like talking about, or are you ready to get into this news?
Yeah, we got enough news. I played a bunch of demos on Steam Fest. Some that I'll talk about on Shack, some that I talked about before. I couldn't possibly talk about all of them. I guess I could maybe like break them down, like maybe 1 or 2 a week, I guess. One that I'll throw out there because Delvin's back is Hollow Body. Play Hollow Body.
I saw you talk about it. I downloaded it.
It's like an old school Resident Evil game. Now, I mean like old school, like fixed camera old school. But with modern controls. It's a little barren right now. It seems like it needs more time in the oven, but it's good. It's fun for like an indie game. Okay. So I'll throw that one out there. But I mean, I've played, I don't even know, man. I've played 15 or 20 games. Okay. Sean's here. Sean, or at least he was here. He's in the chat. I played Flintlock, which is a game that was at the Xbox Showcase.
Yeah.
It comes out to Game Pass next month.
Dawn, right?
I'm sorry?
Siege of Dawn, right?
Yeah, Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Comes to Game Pass next month. Dev, we talked about this last year. We saw it for the demo for the first time, and it looked kind of cool. It is kind of cool. I don't want to oversell it. It's very much like a AA sort of game. It reminds me, it's not the same kind of game, but it reminds me a lot of Banishers. And if you were like into Banishers, I think you'd be okay with, like, that's the kind of like quality level that you're kind of looking at here. So the camera might be a little wonky. It's not going to be like a real polished experience, but it's got hack and slash, fighting and combat. And but it's cool. Like the dead is like taking over. I finished the demo. In the demo, like you're laying siege to this castle as the dead like spawns from the earth as you've like upset this god. And this god wrecks you and all of your friends. And then you kind of go through the tutorial. You meet this other character that gives you like some magical powers. And then you kind of set out to like reclaim the land. So you go and take back a city and you got to kill all the dead and the boss there. So it's like Banishers. Probably if the combat was like a little bit more, like it's not like a Souls-like or anything like that. It's not even like Stellar Blade or Kenna, but like maybe like a rung below that. It's not hard, but like it's not like just press X to win either. If you're not like rolling or whatnot, you probably will die. But I found it to be pretty easy, but it's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. Not amazing. I wouldn't go out of my way. I wouldn't like pre-order the game. I wouldn't buy it day one. But if you have Game Pass, you should play it because it's good. Like it's squarely in that AA game of yore. I think this is like kind of like the new AA realm that we don't get a lot of games in anymore. And I think Flintlock, D-Life has to like Evil West. I think Evil West is better. But yeah, it's like that. It's in that vein. That's the sort of thing you're getting into, which is good. It is good. The character is good. Fully voice acted, which is nice, right? Everybody has voice acting, which is really cool. The character, I already forgot her name. It's like Nora or something. I don't remember, but she's cool too. So it's got a really cool, I don't know, style. Like you're walking around almost like you're dressed in blue, but it's almost like this turncoat type soldier look that everybody's got, so it's almost like Fable-y kind of in like character design and stuff. It's kind of cool. So we'll just say that we'll start there, and maybe I'll drop more week to week, but I could talk to you for days of every one that I played. I played a couple ones. I mostly really focused in on Switch things that I wanted to play that are coming to Switch. So I'll talk about those on Shack. And then I started Doom. Out of the blue, I was like, let's replay Doom 2016.
Okay.
Because the Dark Ages look fucking awesome.
Oh, I'm so fucking stoked for that.
It's been a long time since I've played Eternal, so I was like, let's play Doom.
Let's go.
Kind of like you saw Dragon Age, wanted to play Dragon Age, and I saw Doom and wanted to Doom.
Yep.
So I played a little bit of that, and that's really all I've been playing.
Cool. Well,
it's ready to do it.
We look forward to hearing more demos throughout the coming weeks, getting into everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and.
I didn't even know Summer's Game Fest was this past week.
Yeah, you missed all the shows, all the stuff.
I didn't know any of that shit was happening.
Well, we're gonna recap it for you now, so it's good that you're here on the show.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So I structured this by show. We won't cover every announcement, for God's sakes, because there's like over 700 games announced this week. But we'll cover like the highlights, and if I miss something, anybody wants to throw something out, you can.
Before we start, though, can I just ask, what the fuck was with that like super expensive ad with like Chris Hemsworth and Christina Ricci and Will Arnett?
Yeah, that was bizarre. They have this. There was a Summer Games Fest with a trailer that had all these Marvel people in it, and it seemed like this really big production, all these famous actors. And then it's like a mobile game, like this little throwaway mobile title is what it was for.
Yeah.
But I guess mobile is like where all the money is, right? Like Monopoly is like the game, like the most successful game of the year this year, right?
I blame D-Life and T.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I need you to read all of these games like we're at like Summer Game Fest for me.
I definitely am not. I don't have the energy to.
So I can experience it myself.
If it wasn't for you, I might not even been here today. Like I am really just kind of like empty. I was on the road this morning at 7:30 at a 2-hour drive to get to work. I did training for 5 straight hours, 2-hour drive to get back home. Like I'm just toast.
He's just here so he doesn't get fined.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We ain't got something to do this shit. Just kick it. We can kick it. I'm back. Fuck all the dudes. That.
No, we can't do that. Okay, here's your first announcement, Delvin.
Okay.
Yooka-Laylee, the original, not the Impossible Lair, is getting a definitive edition remaster that they are dubbed Yooka Replaylee.
It's fucking terrible.
Yooka Replaylee.
Womp womp womp.
It's so bad.
That's a terrible name.
It's a remaster of the original. It will include new controls, new camera controls, additional secrets, so new mechanics, new challenges, and new accessibility options. And they're going to try to sell us Yooka-Laylee again.
I never played it.
I played it, and to be honest with you, hated the controls and camera. So like, this is actually somewhat appealing to me. I am not going to buy this game at full price or probably even half price. I feel like this should be a free upgrade to all of us that already bought Yooka-Laylee the first time. They're like, we're going to fix it. And it's like, but it sounds like they're going to sell this at full price again.
Wasn't the original a Kickstarter game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, the side scroller, is an excellent video game, like really good.
Okay.
But the 3D game, I was like, this ain't it. And for me, and I feel like for most people, when the feeling is off on a platform, it ruins the whole thing. Like I can pick up a platformer in 5 minutes. I'll know if I'll like it or want to put it down. And Yooka-Laylee was one of those. I took Yooka-Laylee around for a spin for 50 minutes. I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not going to play a game like this. And didn't ever really progress beyond that. So if they're actually going to fix it, I'm interested, but it's got to be cheap. It should be a free upgrade, but at the very least, it's got to be cheap. Maybe I'll get it in like a bundle. I'll get it like a bundle one day. I'll get it in the Fanatical bundle. 20 games for $13.99 and Yooka-Laylee remastered.
It'll be there soon.
Yeah, it'll be there one day. Killing Time Resurrected is the next game that's coming from Night Dive Studios for all platforms this year. Have either of you, specifically you, Delvin, played this game?
No, I have not.
This is a famous game for the 3DO that came out in 1995. I talked about this on Shack a little bit because not only do I basically love mostly everything that Night Dive decides to remaster, but this is specifically like a horror comedy parody type game. And it's by all accounts one of the best 3DO games that was ever made. It was supposed to be ported to PlayStation, and like I guess they ran out of money or went out of business at some point before they could get finished. So this has just been kind of lost. It's like there was a PC version, but it's just been kind of lost to the past. And it has like these really cool, like it was one of the first games, as I understand it, it was one of the first games that had like FMV video playing over gameplay, like in real time, not like as in a cutscene. So as you're like fighting characters and stuff, you'll see like images, like these video images, like kind of like possess or come over like the enemies that you're fighting on screen. There's also an open world. It's like an open world, like boomer shooter with this horror comedy elements. It just looked fun and kind of for me. So that was one of the pre-Summer Games Fest leaks or announcements that came out. Delvin Esquire ran a piece ahead of Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest where they talked about how much money it costs to be included in the show. And this year's show, it cost $250,000 to have a trailer for 1 minute in the show. $450,000 to have a trailer for 2 minutes in the show. And if you went to 2.5 minutes, it cost you $500,000.
By the way, that ad that I asked about went for the full 2.5 minutes.
That was a big long thing. So they probably ponied up over $500,000 for that spot.
Jesus.
So, yeah. I'm not surprised about the money because these are video game companies that make like tens of billions of dollars annually. That said, paying anybody hundreds of thousands of dollars to show off your YouTube video, that just seems like the market clearly needs a course correction. You know, it's like, I understand if you were renting a stage at a venue and having like a show floor, like there are costs that come with that. I could easily see that costing $500,000 for a big appearance. That makes sense to me. To put my video in your YouTube video, that's absurd. That's just crazy. That's crazy talk to me. I don't care how big your platform is. It's YouTube and it's gaming. You could just as easily like go to IGN or try to get into the Xbox show or Gorilla or like do it yourself, like $500,000. Are any of the trailers that we saw at Summer Games Fest like going to be more successful because they were there? I doubt it. I really do.
Especially when I watch them all on YouTube and not at SGF.
I would rather pay a streamer $500,000 to play my game for a week than that. I think that would be a better use of my money than that.
I was curious, Donnie. This is a little bit old, but I looked it up. If you wanted to run an ad on SmackDown, it costs $51,000.
See? Exactly.
WWE SmackDown.
Yeah, I would rather put my ad in a lot of other places for $500,000. That's insane. And the crazy thing is, this piece comes out. It's like the first investigative journaling that you see behind the scenes. And what does the gaming media do? They immediately go, clearly you guys don't understand how the business works. This isn't that big a deal. This is I'm like, you guys are just as bad as he is. Like, y'all just want that money too. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking? We're talking about YouTube videos, Twitch ads.
The price of paying the people versus closing a studio.
How much would it cost you to just rent like the home screen banner of Eurogamer or Twitch commercials or anything like that? How much could you do with that money? I don't know. And look, it's not for me. These companies make billions. It's pennies to them. I don't really care. It just seems extravagant.
It also seems, as you said, absurd when they're continually laying people off.
It's definitely not a good look. It's definitely not a good look to fire everybody and talk about how costs need to be checked and it's unsustainable while you're spending $500,000 to show your YouTube video.
It also come out that there's a bunch of companies that also get free spots. Like
they do. And that is the other side of it. For some smaller publishers, he does provide some pro bono spots for them. So good for him.
$350,000. Yeah, that's way too much.
It seems like a lot for you to show my YouTube video. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm curious. How many people watch the show?
I watched it.
If you want to guess, how many people you would guess watch this?
Oh, I think he talks about it.
He talks about it all the time.
He has millions of people that do watch. And then there's the the impressions and the clips and the trends, and so like it's I'm not saying it's not valuable.
Also,
to be clear,
I've
not valuable
3 times total now because I go back and watch other reactions to
That's
it.
insane. That's egregious.
But those millions of people are people who are already going to find these games. You're not reaching anybody new with that. That's
the people that are going to watch Summer Games Fest. They want to see new video game trailers. If you just put it, they're going to find it. If it's a game they're interested, they're going to find it anyway. And here's the other thing. You're not reaching
new people this way.
Here's the other thing. When you talk about games that aren't for that crowd, like the mobile game that we just made fun of, and so did all the games media, there are games in this show that they all piss and moan over it being there because they don't care about it because it's a mobile game or a live service game, right? So then it's like, are you really reaching your target demo anyway?
Nope.
Actually makes it worse, if anything.
I think it worked out really well for PlayStation, which we're about to get into. But some of the other folks, I don't think it was as effective. But let's move on to the show. So Summer Games Fest, PlayStation announced Lego Horizon Adventures, the game that's been long rumored. We're getting an Aloy game in Lego style. Is confirmed coming to PlayStation 5, PC, and shocker, day one on Nintendo Switch. Is actually releasing. They're putting Horizon on Nintendo Switch. This is an Unreal Engine 5 game on PlayStation 5. It will have fidelity and performance modes. It's 7 to 8 hours long with replayability elements included, which means Lego collectathon stuff.
Yeah.
They said we wanted to make a playful and lighthearted story inspired by the events in the world of Horizon. It's not exactly a retelling of the first game or a Lego parody of the game. It just reshapes the original in a fun way for kids and families. That was by far and away the highlight for me from Summer Games Fest, the show. And I will definitely be buying this game on Switch day one.
And he'll get to experience it on PS5 through me.
Yeah, I get to play both. Hayley Pass. I get to see the difference between. I'm very interested to see how they port this down to Switch.
So this is I was gonna say an Unreal Engine 5 game on the Switch.
Got, like, how's that running? And shit. Yeah, I'm assuming that they're building a Switch version in a separate but I don't know. Like, I don't know if there are Unreal Engine 5 games already on Switch, but like I do know that I think Unreal Engine 5 was built in a way that it's better for Switch than Unreal 4 was, because Unreal 4 is kind of terrible for Switch.
Yeah.
So like maybe you can turn all that stuff. It's coming up.
We don't have a concrete date yet. It just says holiday 2024.
Yeah, it's coming up this holiday.
Yeah.
So it's like a big game for PlayStation.
Interesting.
It looks good too. I mean, I would tell you that from the play and the video and the trailer, it looks fun.
I always figured this game was coming. Like even when they built the Lego, so I'm like, oh, that's probably going to be a thing. I figured like, oh, it'll probably be on Switch too. But I also thought that once they had the Lego Mario thing, they were going to make a Lego Mario game. That makes sense. So I'm happy to see it.
Not to discount it doesn't mean Switch will be the same date. No, the press release that came out says Switch day and date.
I expect it's going to be the same date.
I was asking where was it because I was thinking it might have been Switch too, but
yeah, no, it's coming to Switch.
It's coming to
I'm buying it kind of for a big reason of wanting to see if it gets an update and like what it might be on Switch too. Like that's the sort of game that I can imagine it probably is terrible on Switch and then gets a Switch 2 patch and it's actually probably pretty good. While we talked about these rumors, I definitely talked about it on Shaq multiple times. I think we talked about it here at least once. When the rumors for this game kept coming out, I kept bringing up, would you put that on Switch? Because like to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make an exclusive Lego game. Like you're trying to take a property that you have and reach new people, and it's a Lego game. You're trying to reach kids. Where are the kids? Like they're on Switch. I'm actually surprised to actually see them do it. In all of my times talking, especially with all the history that PlayStation has, I was like, they're not going to publish a Switch game, surely. And the fuck if they're not. So they proved me wrong for sure.
Here's a curious part too. If they're putting it on Switch, why wouldn't they put it on Xbox? That's my question.
Yeah, like, we know why they won't, but like I'm kind of agree with you there. Like if you're gonna put it everywhere but Xbox, we already know how like little Xbox has of the console market, so it's not like it's gonna sell. You might as well just put it there too, but we know why they're not. Exclusivity in the console market right now just means not you. Like it's just not on your box, or it's not on your box, but it's everywhere else.
Everyone else except you.
Nintendo is like in such an envious position. Everybody's like, we want to put our game on your system. Nintendo's like, cool.
Want to put it on our system too? Like, no, we're okay.
Oh, yeah, I loved Delvin, your point. You want to put it on our system? No. I love that Phantom Blade Zero came out and goes, yeah, there's no PlayStation exclusivity deal. We just didn't want to put it on Xbox.
We just didn't want to make an Xbox version. So, so that's Lego Horizon Adventures. Any other thoughts on that one before we move on?
Looks pretty good.
We know that we know that Horizon wants to do like a TV series, and like it seems like they have big plans for this franchise.
The fuck out of this franchise.
Well, I think it makes sense. This franchise has the world of Horizon has like endless possibilities for merchandise and entertainment. Like it can be a bigger brand for them.
They're doing that. They have.
Also, they've already got huge talent attached to it. Carl Urban is going to be in the TV.
They got the TV show, they got 2 games. Well, they got 4 games now, essentially, right?
Yeah, with more on the way, right? They're making a multiplayer game. Actually. They're making a mobile game,
the VR game.
Yeah.
They have a lot of shoot.
3 is on the way. The multiplayer game rumored to be developed.
I don't see why, if they're making a Lego game, depending on how their Netflix show goes, I would make like a Lego cartoon for it too. Like this very well could be like for kids, like what Jurassic Park was, if they do it right.
Yeah.
You can sell a lot of toys and a lot of T-shirts and shit about something like this. Like Horizon should be a thing.
Did this for more franchises.
Well, it's hard to when all of your franchises are like, I adopted this kid and then we killed her dad and then like we killed her and we beat her up and it's hard to make those for everybody.
It's funny you mentioned
Horizon is still the same thing. That's
starts with her dad dying.
But it's not as brutal and it's a little nicer than that, right?
It's not. The beginning is not as brutal.
We don't see people's legs getting ripped off all the time and stuff. Let
me just chuck this rock at her face.
It's not like Ghost of Tsushima or God of War. It's not Kratos literally beating the shit out of somebody with a mountain.
I was thinking Lego Uncharted.
Yeah,
I always thought that should have been a thing.
That would work.
I think the monsters and the sci-fi in the world, just do a lot more than Uncharted does. I don't know if Lego Drake does a whole lot for the kids. I don't think
Probably
they care.
Not. I don't think the kids care about
Horizon does.
I care about Uncharted.
It's a robot velociraptor, dude. Like that works. That's easy pitch to.
That combines children.
They don't even have to know what Horizon is. It just fucking looks cool. Just make the toy and put it on the shelf. It just looks cool. People want to buy that. It's like Transformers. You don't have to know. You don't have to just do it. It's just cool. I think that's what what are you gonna get with Uncharted? It's like we've got Indiana Jones at home. Like he's got a whip and he slides. It's like, what are you gonna do? What's the toy for that?
Murder.
Murder.
Lots of.
But I would play Lego Uncharted for sure. That'd be hilarious, and especially if it was a parody. Like if it was a spoof, that'd be great. All right, Alan Wake 2 got its expansion. Right, so and then it was out like that day or the next day.
It was out on the Saturday. Well,
it's episodic. There are multiple episodes coming.
Saturday.
It's digital. It doesn't matter. It'll be out whenever they want.
Right.
It's episodic, so there's more episodes on the way, and in a reversal of sorts, they have announced a limited collector's edition, which will be ran by Limited Run, published by Epic Games, where you can actually get a physical copy of the game for once. This is for the first time. You can get it with the DLC, and it's $200.
I should point out that all the episodes are actually out already. They're all
of them are. I thought they were coming.
No. There's 3 separate episodes where you play as 3 different characters from the universe. The second DLC coming out later this year is the one that'll be
Rob 3000 thanks you. Yes. So all of our one listener that loves that game is very excited. I've actually read in passing that the DLC is very good and the people are loving it. So I say that in jest, but apparently a lot of people like it. And apparently it's like zanier than the base game.
It is absolutely zanier.
So people are liking that a lot.
Here's what I love. There's a bunch of Quantum Break references in it.
Fucking, you've got Hayley 100%. She's all in. Valorant is coming to consoles and has a limited beta on June 14th. So that was a part of the Summer Games Fest show. So again, I don't know if they got one of the free spots, but did Valorant need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for that placement, or could Valorant just been, we're bringing the game to con and put that show on YouTube and everything? Valorant people would have found that anyway. That was the point I was trying to make earlier, but I don't want to digress and go back to there. The only thought that I had when I saw Valorant come up was like, that's not great for Concord. Like Concord, like,
no, absolutely.
And I was like, damn, right on top of them. They're like, and here we come. So
another thing I saw is they came out and confirmed that the PS5 version will not have gyro aiming or gyro aiming, however you pronounce it.
Gyro aiming, like
gyro.
Hero.
What have you don't aiming? Yes.
I'd like a lamb gyro, please.
Okay, you get the point. They said it will not have gyro aiming because Xbox doesn't have that. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, they don't. Not until they release that new controller. They don't have
it in euros. Yes.
Which I turned that off a long time ago. The First Descendant is a next-gen looter shooter that's coming July 2nd. It didn't look bad, but of course I'm not into those. Amazon's MMO, New World Eternum, is coming to console this October.
Nope.
Again, I'm going to put it one more last time. $250,000, like, just to let us know that, you know, it's just like the Summer Games Fest wasn't all that great for me. If you don't hear it in my voice, I was just like, it was okay. I watched it and was like, that was something. Like, it wasn't really necessary.
Killer Bean. Killer.
Yeah, we're getting there. Sonic X Shadow Generations is out October 25th. It's only $50 and it looks great. It looks great.
Let's go, baby. Shadow.
So
I bet Delvin Jr. is excited.
It's a Sonic Generations remaster that has its own additional campaign for Shadow, and it has its own mini like Sonic Frontiers world for Shadow, all in one for $50.
Let's go, baby.
It looks good.
This is the only trailer I've watched from this entire show.
Did you like it?
I didn't care about it, but I watched it for my son. So look to him.
Did he like it?
He loved it. He loves.
I thought it looked great.
He's super excited. He's
yeah,
like,
me
can
too.
we please pre-order it so I can get the skins for the characters? Like, he's very excited.
I have so much to buy that I think this will get put on the bench. But like Black Friday, I am 100% looking for like a 50% off Sonic game for sure. Because it looks based off of the Sonic Superstars bullshit we got. Like this looks way, but this is the one to get. And most people love Generations. Like Generations is the one that most people love. Like that's the good one.
Love Shadow.
My son loves it. Yeah.
Does Shadow still have his tiny little pistol?
Whoa! Why you talking about Shadow pistol like that? My God.
Hayley, Skate is doing a play test this fall.
I've already signed up. So
in the lower thirds of the game, they said it was the alpha or whatever. This game has been in the works for how many years?
7 years at this point. 7.
And they are going into pre-alpha, and they mentioned that they also want to bring the game to mobile. And Delvin, you haven't seen the show, right?
Nope.
So the new Skate game looks like an MMO where you and a bunch of people meet up in a skate park and skate together.
Yep.
Won't we playing that shit?
It didn't look anything like Skate.
Here's my favorite part, by the way, Johnny. I don't think you knew this, but when this game was announced, it was announced as free to play.
That sounds right. That's what it looks like they're pitching right now. It looks like a free to play mobile skate game.
Well,
that makes me feel less excited for you. I wasn't that excited to begin with. When I saw that, I was like,
I knew what it was going to be. I'm still excited because Skate is like,
by Sonic. I love Skate. I didn't write down the Bean game. What was that game called?
Oh, it's just called Killer Bean.
Okay, Delvin, you immediately need to look up a trailer for a game called Killer Bean. This is Grand Theft Auto meets Max Payne, but you are a testicle running around with a gun in your hand, shooting shit. They tell you it's a bean, it's a testicle. It's 100% a testicle. It doesn't look anything like a bean. Like maybe you could give me California Raisin, but it's It's a testicle.
No, that is a nutsack.
It's a nutsack. 100%.
Also, the vibes of this trailer are all over the place.
They really are. It's got like bullet time and like dodging. You just Matrix shit. Also, and it's like GTA and you're spinning the car around and shooting shit. Now, here's the two things I want to say about it. I want to say
from in between his legs.
Yeah, I want to say two things about this game. Again, I said this to me last time. It's not. Somebody paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to put this game in this fucking show. All right. The second thing I want to say about it. The saddest part about this was the game that got Jack to react more than anything else in this entire fucking showcase. Jack watched this fucking testicle start to break dance as somebody was shooting at him, and Jack was like, "This looks hilarious. I want to play it." And I squarely looked at Jack, who was sitting right next to me on my computer, and I said, "You're why gaming is dying. This is why gaming is falling apart because of this. Terrible. Because of that. This is what you think we want. This is what we want from this for games. This is ridiculous."
Also, it's not even a full game release. It's coming to early access. Like, it's not even a full game release. Of course it is.
Look at the jank shit. Like, yeah. So I saw a lot of people on the internet. They were laughing. They think it's like meme worthy, right? It's funny to like it. Yeah, no, that's a no for me. It's a no for me, dog.
This looks.
It's a ball sack.
Ridiculous.
It's a testicle. It's a testicle with a helmet on.
I can't believe this is a real.
And they're
game.
like, it's a bean. Get the fuck out of here. That is nobody has ever. If you ever made coffee with beans like that, I'd leave. Like 100%. Like, what is wrong with the beans here?
See you later. I'm going down the street. I'll see you later.
Not drinking your ball coffee. Thank you very
much. I'm gonna save the really good announcement for Delvin for last. So let's say here, Street Fighter 6. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 announced their DLC pass for this year, which will include Bison, who's apparently coming back from the dead. Somebody confirm, deny that?
Like Tupac.
That sounds accurate, yes.
Elena, Mai, and Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is coming to Street Fighter 6. So that's cool.
That's cool.
Why is Terry Bogard in Street Fighter?
Yeah.
We run out of people to put in the goddamn game.
The showcase closed with Phantom Blade Zero.
Yep.
Which, if you're into that thing, still looks pretty excellent, but was like, did he close with that game last year too? Yes. Or was it just in last year's show?
No, he
closed last. So yeah, this is the second year he's closed with the same game both years. So I did find that a little like I'm not into it, so that's probably why. But when that came up as the final game, I was like, well, that is kind of a bummer.
Can I ask why you're not into it?
I mean, just the immediate, like, it looks like it wants to be a Souls-like. I know that they're really saying that it's not.
Yeah, I kind of thought that's why you weren't into it. But yeah, I did see that they've come out and been like, not a Souls-like.
They're going out of their way to try and tell you that they're not a Souls-like, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
I just Googled it. It says we're not a Souls-like. It literally says that.
Yeah, like they're trying really hard to not do that. And then next to Lego Horizon, the highlight of the showcase for me, and what I imagine would be the highlight for you, Delvin, is they announced a new Power Rangers game, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. This is a beat 'em up, a side-scrolling beat 'em up, Streets of Rage, Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sega Genesis Power Rangers game with I think they said the OG cast and the original music.
And it's cool. Co-op as well.
Yeah, full co-op. So it looked great.
Can I play as the Green Ranger?
Yeah.
That wasn't. Was the Green Ranger shown in the trailer? Because I think they're probably holding that.
Couldn't be the original cast if it's got the Green Ranger. Just saying.
I didn't see the Green Ranger, but I didn't study it that hard. I assumed when I didn't see it or didn't notice it, I assumed that it's probably an unlockable character. Is what I thought, but I don't know. But I didn't see it. I don't remember seeing the Green Ranger. I saw the original 5 a lot. So, but I'm sure it's in there. And if it's not, I'm sure. See, John 32 says he wasn't there. I didn't think so either. But I'm sure Tommy will show up as either DLC or unlockable or something. They're going to do that. Yeah.
Wait, when they say original cast, does that include the guy who went to jail for slicing up his?
No, I mean like I don't know if the original. I meant like the original characters. Sorry. Yeah, not like
the original 5 Rangers.
Yeah, the Red Ranger's in jail, and Tommy has moved on.
I meant more like the original gen, because there's a lot of generational power. I meant like the OG, the Power season. Rangers. Yeah, first episode.
Not all these new ones for you whippersnappers.
Yeah, with like fucking 18 different, like there's like more different colors of Power Rangers
than like
Amy Jo Johnson. Color. Yeah, you know, so
yes.
So
that was the Summer Games Fest showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Summer Mid-Fest.
Kind of. Yeah, it was. It was kind of mid.
It's a goddamn G.I. Joe game.
Yeah, nothing like that, man.
They gave up. They're like, fuck this.
Yeah, it was kind of like for all of like the hype that goes into this, it was just like, that was it? All right.
I see a bunch of people going, this should have been an email.
So I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I would have preferred if that Lego game was just in the PlayStation showcase. That showcase would have been dope. And that would have been like, outside of that, this show didn't have a whole lot.
Oh, wait. Also, does Delvin know about Astro since, Delvin's been kind of busy?
Yeah, Delvin, do you know about Astro?
I saw Donnie cheering about it and Dev being angry. So yes.
PlayStation, man. I got a PS5. That's right. You did. He was like, this motherfucker bought a console.
Okay, yeah.
He took time from his grief to be like, what the fuck's happening?
I was like a legit shock.
I had to come in and save PSXP in your absence. I've been on like 3 episodes, man. Welcome back to work.
I've heard it. Yeah, I'm like, Donnie's there. That's good.
I got the matching controller to match my silver play. It's all choreographed, man. It's all nice.
I remember talking about how massively huge the PlayStation is. Like, that's not
mine. Mine's beautiful. Yeah. And it was so funny when I post pictures online, or I posted them in Carpool Gaming, and everybody is like, damn, I had no idea the Slim looked like that. Like, I got all these people wanting to buy Slims now.
I'm selling PlayStation now.
Selling PlayStations.
Yeah,
so Astrobot's going to be dope.
It's been great.
Yeah, it really is. And all the previews today, I didn't read them, but I've seen like headlines and tweets. They're really popular. People really like it.
I saw a video of Astro running through a pool. He like puffed up.
Wow.
Did you get the one with the plushie?
No, I just bought the digital game. I'm just buying the game.
Okay.
So,
you can buy the plushie separate too.
I got to do I should probably get one because I have plushie for Sackboy, so I should get an Astrobot. 100%.
Yeah, I remember you said you wanted some Sackboy, Astrobot stuff. So there you go. That might be.
But the thing that I really want, that I want to will into existence, is I want PlayStation anniversary plates and like a controller.
That might happen.
That's what I want. Yeah. All right. Our next showcase was Devolver Showcase, the Devolver Digital Show. Did anybody watch that?
I haven't had a chance
yet.
You
didn't even watch it, Dev?
I didn't know. I didn't know any of this stuff happened.
I haven't watched anything at all.
It's Devolver.
I have been incredibly busy.
That's the point, Dev.
It really is.
I haven't had time. I'm sorry.
So Devolver Showcase featured an update coming to Cult of the Lamb for co-op. Possessors, which is the new game from Heart Machine, which is the Hyperlight Drifter folks, right? Which looks really cool. Angerfoot finally has a release date. Angerfoot drops July 11th. So you can go around and kick the shit out of people on July 11th. Tenjitsu, which looks really cool. The Crush House, which is a thirst-person shooter. Delvin. Thirst.
Let me look this up. The Crush House?
The Crush House. It's like a reality TV show where you go around like trying to like photograph people being horny, I guess. It's like the elevator pitch. It's a thirst-person shooter. And then we saw the Talos Principle too. Now, the Devolver show had their theatrics. I really enjoyed this year's. It wasn't over the top ridiculousness. It was like subversive. So we see this guy and he's doing like this weird shit and it's very quiet and you can't really tell what's going on. But essentially he has like Volvi locked in a room and he gets arrested and all like hell starts to break loose. It starts to unravel by the end. It was a short showcase. It didn't have a lot of games. It wasn't a very big deal. It was not up to the Devolver shows of past, but was entertaining, was fun while it was there. They released a website afterward that had a bunch of like hidden game codes and the code and stuff of the website. And if you clicked on a certain icon, there was a Volvi like Tamagotchi, like a virtual Volvi digipet. And if you download it and install it on your computer, like I did, and when I did it, so did Rebecca, and you click the buttons, like Volvi just shits and you just get to clean up Volvi shit, and like that's it. That's all you really get to do.
Ridiculous.
So it was ridiculous.
That Tenjutsu game, I wanted to love it, and then they said
good.
that it's a roguelike, and I was like, never mind.
It is a roguelike. The Future Games Show, which barring like I don't know if you count the State of Play, but barring the Xbox showcase, I actually really enjoyed the Future Games Show a lot. I wrote down a bunch of games. So I'll read them quickly, and then I guess I'll highlight any of the ones that I saw. Bogdan's Cross, The First Dwarf, Nobody Wants to Die, which got a ton. That was like every showcase. They really, really trying to push that game. A game called Clockwork Ambrosia, Parcel Core, Anton Blast. They did an entire spot about games with demos. There was a Netflix spot, and the games are coming to Netflix. Got to see a new Space Marine 2 trailer. Skim was there, which I've been playtesting with the developer for a while. I talked about it on Shack. It's pretty cool. Sonokumi, fucking dope. That's definitely a game to remember. Sonokumi, Sonokumi. That would be that Katana Zero Hotline Miami type thing that I tried to peddle to Dev, and Dev was like, "Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense." Eternal Strands. We saw an Unreal Engine 5 sizzle shot body cam, that like cop infiltration shooter game that's blowing up on the internet was there. And then,
I saw a streamer say they were afraid to play that on stream in case they got banned because someone didn't know it was a video game.
Yeah, everybody. It's like game looks insane.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
And then Starship Troopers, Extermination, got their big trailer. It's coming to console. It's coming out early access. And then out of nowhere, Casper Van Dien is in the game. Like he's there as Johnny Rico. He's in the Starship Trooper game. And just while we're on the topic of Casper, he was there on Giant Bomb at Night with Jeff Grubb. He was just hanging out with them for like an hour and like talking about video games and shit. It was awesome.
Rebecca didn't know who the fuck he was.
That's true. Yeah.
I think
that was really sad. I was like, Johnny Rico. She was like, who?
Richard Grieco?
That should be like
no Richard Grieco
required watching to be a part of PSVG. If you ain't seen 100%. Starship Troopers,
I've seen Starship Troopers.
What are you doing here? So of this show had a lot of games that I wanted to play. So I've played The First Dwarf. I've played Clockwork Ambrosia. I played Parcel Core. I played a bunch. Like I said, I've been playtesting Skim or Shem or however. I thought it was Shim. It's SCHIM, but the developer on the showcase said Skim, and I was like, oh, I've been just saying it wrong the whole time. So I'll shout out First Dwarf here. I talked about on Shack. This is a survival craft game. You're like a dwarf, and there's like a dragon, and you can like swap between the two characters. So it's like a dwarf from like Moria or like Spyro, and you can swap between both characters. They both have their own powers. Cool thing about the dwarf is that there's a mech, and you can get into the mech and then use the mech to like do the tree punching and to do the stone punching and all that shit. And then you build a little base and you do all the collect things and you fight all the things. You know, it's one of those survival craft games. It's really good, really polished for a game that's only in like early access. And of all of these games that I've played, Moria, Valheim, all of that sort of thing, this is the best one I think that I've ever adapted to controller. I can play it 100% on the controller, zero problems. Everything works as it should. So if you're wanting to try one of these games on console, The First Dwarf would be probably my recommendation to anybody that's never really done a game like this. It's very nice. I played Clockwork Ambrosia, the demo, and it was a busted mess. Like none of the voiceover worked, none of the menus worked. It like crashed. So maybe put that one back in the oven for a little bit. The last one that I'll shout out from the Future Games Show is called Parcel Core. Parcel Core is fun, and I think all of you actually might enjoy it at some point. It's super colorful. It reminds me a lot of I should really write down notes or write down my thoughts because I cannot remember the game.
Why do we not pronounce the P and the S in corpse? Why is it just core?
That's a good point. Yeah, core. What was that skating game that came out last year where you rollerblades like kind of like Jet Set Radio, but it wasn't? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I do, but I can't place the name.
Something grind something grind.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Bomb Rush. Okay. Yeah.
This game reminds me of that. It's like Tony Hawk, but you're on a bicycle, and you can like wall ride anything and grind all the rails and everything. And the game is like DoorDash or Postmates. Like you go to these different places and you scan the code, and they have you deliver a package somewhere. I'm like Crazy Taxi, where you have to get there.
Crazy Taxi, but on a bike.
Yeah, but it is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. There's like big Splatoon, big bright, colorful, vibrant graphics and stuff, and all the menus are like very that way. That game, I played the demo. That shit was like finished. Like maybe they're just making more content, but when I played, I was like, this is just a game. So if you've got a Steam Deck, go try that out, because it is fun. If you're into that, like fuck around in like a open world, and like see if you can grind the fountain or pull off tricks or anything like that, it's a really fun game for that. And there's ramps and secrets and things hidden around you can find. So that was the Future Games Show. So Delvin, Dev, how are you feeling about the showcases so far?
Glad I didn't watch them.
Yeah, kind of. That is kind of it. A lot of the non-big shows, like the Gorilla, the Day of the Devs, the Future Game, they were all just indie-based. The Cozy Gamers, the Women in Gaming. When I tell you, I watched every one of these, and I was live tweeting from the PSVG account and like sharing articles and stuff like that. I must have saw like 700 indie games. Like they all just kind of blur together at some point. You're like, this is just too much. I really think it's too much. Like I'm all about marketing, but like when you market everything, like you're marketing nothing. You can't stand that, because you've literally shown me so much. It's hard to remember anything. I would be in vogue of like paring it down a bit and highlighting things, curate, try to pick the best of the best, as opposed to, like I don't know how these other folks, maybe they're selling space too. Like maybe the Guerrilla Collective is selling space at $50,000 a pop. That's why they announced 75 indie games. I sat down and watched a showcase of 75 indie games.
Just for reference, that show started as I left for work on Saturday night.
It's insane.
And when I came back, they were like, hey, here's all this stuff. And I'm like, the fuck? I was gone for 3 hours.
So like I'm here for it, because I love just seeing games, especially experimental new games. But like most people are not. And like, how do you message that out to anybody that's going to be buying games? Here's 75 trailers to look forward to. Like the whole point of a showcase is for somebody to sit down and go, these are the 15 good ones. Let's show those. But nobody does that anymore. They just showed everything. As John 32 says, shout out to UFO 50. Yes, I did shout that out on Shaq. Delvin, put that in your Steam wish list. UFO 50.
UFO 50.
It's a compilation of a bunch of like indie, like 8-bit games that all tie together, but they all have a bunch of different game styles. Like one of them is like a golf game, one of them is like a Pac-Man game, one's a platform, one's an action game. So it's all an old compilation. You put them all together in one. So, all right. So let's kick it up a notch. We're not going to do the whole thing, because in your Place of Video Games feed, there is a 3-hour podcast with myself, Josh, and Sean Capri, where we literally walk through every single announcement in the Xbox showcase. But what I will tell you, Delvin, if you didn't see it, the Xbox showcase, amongst all the games, had trailers and release dates for Gears of War, Fable, South of Midnight, Doom, Black Ops 6, Avowed, Metal Gear, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was a pretty fucking awesome show. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. As showcases go, this is like the big showcase that like people miss and want. They want these big brands, these big marquee tentpole game. Xbox showed up with them in spades. They had
I saw a South of Midnight. That looks awesome. It's amazing.
South of Midnight looks great. Fantastic.
It looks really good. Yeah. And that's next year.
Yes.
So some of their stuff, I was a little critical, because some of their stuff that's really exciting is like still a ways off, especially some of the stuff that's been in development. So like we saw the new Perfect Dark, Delvin, that was there. Perfect Dark still looks years away, probably.
State of Decay 3 looks fantastic.
3. Well, I don't know how much of what we saw from State of Decay 3
I didn't see that either.
Looks like anything State of Decay 3. Like how much is that is like animations and cutscenes versus gameplay. I had a hard time telling.
Any of this stuff happened.
Dragon Age was also in the Xbox show.
It was, and here's my.
It was a terrible trailer, though.
It was a terrible trailer, but here's my favorite thing: watching everyone freak out online about that trailer, as if Dragon Age hasn't always been bad at showing narrative trailers.
I don't know if they have or not. I don't know. Yeah, all I knew is that the way that they showcased it made it seemed very similar to like how the hero shooters do their trailer. Like it was just like
it was
a reel of meet this person and meet this person and meet. I was like, but show me the game now.
They did on Tuesday.
Which they did. The next day, they actually came out and here's what Dragon Age looks like, and I watched it, and it looks great. That looks like what Dragon Age should. They should do that in the first trailer. Do that first. But that's neither here nor there. Those are the big games. Fable looked great. Gears of War, Delvin, if you didn't hear, it's Gears of War E-Day. It's a prequel. They're going back to like it's like in the trailer that they showed, it was like the OG trailer. They had Mad World. It's young Phoenix. It's young Dom. It's gritty. It's the Brotherhood. Baby. It's old school Gears of War. It's a return to form for Gears of War.
Mm-hmm. We're getting Marcus going to prison, like, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know where among E-Day it's going to be, but I love that in the trailer, like Marcus smashes a TV that's got like the emergency response alert on it.
Yeah.
Into the local head.
Any thoughts on any of those things before I move on to the other announcements at the Xbox thing?
I mean, Delvin might also be excited for Life is Strange. So.
That's true. Life is Strange is coming this fall, Delvin. The new one.
Well, that's great.
That was also at the Xbox Showcase. Yeah.
Max.
Yep, Max is back.
Great. That's awesome.
And also, with your universe stuff, she has the ability to have multiple like timelines in the future, so she can like.
I see people going, did they change her power? I'm going, no. If you read the comics, her power evolved. It's not just using.
Yeah, but people don't read the comics.
I was going to say, but you have to read the comics.
Come on, man.
So she's Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, she's Doctor Strange.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah, so like by all accounts, we're gonna get into the hardware and the interview with Phil after this, but by all accounts, I thought the showcase was great. It's definitely what
it was very
Xbox
good.
has been needing. There was a lot of games. It was very fast show. It was back to back to back, trailer. There was very little talking, very little interviews, and it was just it had my main takeaway from the Xbox show is it had like a big fight feel to it. Like it felt important because it wasn't, of all the showcases that were there, it wasn't a bunch of indie games. It wasn't a bunch of studios and publishers you never heard of. It was brands. Dragon Age, Metal Gear, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Fable. Like it was bang, bang, bang.
Let me ask the $1 million question. I think that might be, well, it might not be important. How many of these games are console exclusive?
Yeah, that is the
none of them
question.
Mentioned console exclusivity at all.
I didn't even mention Doom, which they showed Doom, the Dark Ages, the next Doom game that comes out next year, and it looks fucking incredible, Delvin. Like it looks awesome. Slayer's got a fucking stake gun that he shoots a dude against a wall. He's got a fucking shield, dude. That's a lancer. It's got a chainsaw on the out that you can throw like Kratos to get that shit back. It's like some Turok shit. It is very good.
Also, should note, this trailer was shown 5 minutes later. There was already a blog post up going, coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, well, Doom is coming to PlayStation day one.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's coming day one. We'll talk about their multi-platform strategy, but none of the other games were announced as coming or not coming. So, like at this point, we don't know.
Yeah, I was curious.
What we do know is that they're all coming to Game Pass. So, you want to buy them somewhere else, maybe you'll have that option, but they are all coming to Game Pass. So, like, even Call of Duty, if you didn't know, Call of Duty is confirmed will launch day one to the Game Pass. So you just get to play Call of Duty. They announced new hardware or hardware revisions. So they announced a new all digital Xbox Series X that's white. So it's just a white rectangle. Now, here's the funny thing. I was very critical of the hardware on the podcast. If you didn't listen, on Threads. I also created a thread about how bad I thought the hardware was, and people were big mad on Threads. I had a lot of people in my comments that were like, "Why do you say this? It's got 2 terabyte." I was not a fan. I don't have all of the hardware prices written down, but like I think the
2 terabyte one is $600.
So there is a black Xbox Series X, Delvin, that has a 2 terabyte hard drive in it, and it's like speckled green. It's got like green flakes on it, like a speckled egg, and so is the controller. It's $599.
Yeah,
$600.
Yeah, and
for an Xbox,
Canada, that thing's $900 fucking dollars
for an Xbox that like they can't sell now, and they were like, "Let's make it more expensive." Like that blew my mind. I was like, "This is clearly not the right direction." I think the white Series X, and guys, forgive me if I get this wrong, I think it's $399.
It's $450. It's $450. And it's digital. It's all digital.
It's digital only.
Well, I think the most egregious thing about that is that it's boring. It's literally a white box. There's nothing on it. It's completely flat. It's just white. It's a white box in all directions. It's a white rectangle. And then they have the Series S, right? Which they had some sort of update that's it's $299 or whatever. It's all. I honestly
$349 actually.
See, I thought every one of them was too expensive, and that's why I'm even off on my number, because I think they're all. I thought every one of the offers was too, like, all of this is too expensive.
It's a 1 terabyte SSD, and it's
a Series S should cost no more than $199. A Series X should cost no more than $399. A 2 terabyte Series X should cost no more than $500 at most. And I think that's too much. You know, like people are like, it's got 2 terabytes. I'm like, yeah, SSDs, if you haven't looked, are plummeting in prices everywhere. We got people putting 4 terabytes in their PlayStation 5s, and you're charging a premium on this. Like, I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
That was like my big miss from the entire thing. I was like, this is not good.
I guess, Donnie, this answers your question of whether or not they're going to try and emulate the $800 handheld market, because clearly the answer is yes.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. They're probably about to show up with some Xbox handheld that's very expensive. But here's the thing, within that market, that might be okay to some people. In a console market that you already are struggling to sell, making more expensive ones to me just seemed like a terrible idea.
This is what I'm saying, right? We're 4 years in and console prices are going up.
And and the people are like, well, the components are getting more expensive. Okay, well, then sell it at a loss. I don't know what to tell you to do. You need more people. You need more people subscribing to Game Pass. You need more people buying games. So I don't know. Figure it out. I don't know. I don't run the business, but they got to figure it out. I didn't like it. I also didn't like the designs. I thought the speckled egg was an ugly look, especially the controller.
It's pretty gross. That controller looks pretty gross too.
Something about the digital Series X. You take the hard drive out, but you don't slim the case down or redesign it at all. You literally just ship it in a blank case. I don't like. For some reason, I just am like, okay, if you're making a digital model, like, make it smaller. You know, like, try to do. They did none of it. They're like, yeah, no, we're just blank. It's just a blank wall. Like, I feel like you should put a design on it or something. Of all these games you just showed, make a special edition.
And buy one of those
a wrap.
The wrap. Just go buy a wrap.
They haven't made any. They haven't made one since Starfield. Not a one.
Yeah.
No, they're not saying we're going to give you more wraps. Just go buy the wraps that already exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need new. Here's the new thing. It's got a larger SSD. It's all white. No disc. Go ahead and buy a wrap. You're good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And then Phil Spencer did have his interview with IGN, and we got to glean a couple of things. So he was pressed on the handheld thing. Ryan asked him, and pressed is actually an interesting word, because I don't think Ryan did a whole lot of pressing, period.
No, he did not.
He did ask him about a handheld. And Phil's response to a handheld was, I think we should have a handheld too. Now, Ryan followed it up with saying, like, okay, you won't tell us if you're making a handheld or not. So if you were going to make a handheld, hypothetically, would it be something that would be streaming focused, or would it be like a native handheld? And Phil responded, I like my ROG Ally, I like my Legion Go, and I like my Steam Deck. I think being able to play games locally is really important. So Xbox is going to make one of these handhelds. Like, that's the big takeaway from this. Like, he wouldn't say any of that if they weren't. They're going to make one of these handhelds.
Yeah.
They're working on a handheld, and it's, I don't know if it's coming next year. I think it'll probably get announced next year. I don't know if it's coming next year, but they're making one of these handhelds. They're going to try to do
I was thinking they were just going to make a Rogue Ally like, hey, the Rogue Ally is now just the Xbox one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they were doing that, we'd already have it. I think they're making their own, personally. I think they're going to make their own handheld. I think they're going to make their own console, too. My question is, are these separate products? Or are they somehow going to make them this like together, like a system? Are they going to sell this like some sort of fucking Switch thing?
So here's my issue with this, right? If they make it the same and it has to meet compliance standards, we know the other handhelds can run slimmed, like sometimes you got to run at 30 FPS product games. You already have developers complaining about the Series S.
Yep. Yeah.
What are we doing?
We talked about this months ago when somebody wrote in and was like, just make the Series S and make it a handheld. And we talked about all these reasons why that on paper, that sounds easy. And in practice, you could like probably make something that kind of feels like that. But there's a lot of things to think about that, right? We're talking about chips, we're talking about upscaling, we're talking about, ARM, we're talking about, there's a lot of things here, power, wattage, battery. It's not that easy. And that's for them to figure out. Again, I don't run the business. That's for them to figure out, but it sounds like they're going to try to do something. And that's what makes me think that it'll probably be a separate product. They'll probably have, this is our Xbox console, but if you would prefer, we have this handheld that will play most of the games, and the ones that it doesn't, maybe it can stream them, and like they can probably make that work and kind of massage it out that way is what I expect they're going to try to do, which I don't hate. I think being different is probably a good thing for them right now, because clearly them trying to be the same thing, they're getting their asses kicked. So be different. And maybe this is the first step to that. I would rather them just go all in on the handheld, personally. Like if you're going to go down that route, then do what Nintendo did. And literally that's the console. Do the whole thing. It's just this. And we target this spec. But I don't think they're going to do that. He was asked about Tango and Arcane Austin. And I really think Ryan let him off the hook. Phil was really excited. You could tell dude was loving the reaction to his showcase. Like he was just so happy and really, and he got to this question. He goes, look, his response was, I have to make bad decisions or tough decisions sometimes that I don't like to make it, but we have to run a sustainable business and we have to make decisions like that. And that's the part where Ryan let him off the hook. The moment Phil Spencer answers your Tango question with sustainable, your immediate response should be, didn't you just spend $70 billion?
Yeah.
Like how unsustainable is your business? What are we talking about here? Like, what is I would follow that question up with 5 questions. How much does closing Tango save your bottom line? How much did it change? Do you mean closing this studio made your whole business sustainable all of a sudden? Like, what is it? What was the impact here? But he didn't. They literally, he said that answer and they just moved right on.
Yeah.
Which they probably had to agree to that in the first place to get the interview.
I was going to say it probably had to be, there's some agreement there for that.
I know. But, the hard hitting, me wanting, you had an opportunity. I would have loved to have seen it used. Delvin, he was asked about Xbox's strategy. Ryan didn't even ask him about multi-platform, and this I would have really liked to see him push for, but he didn't. He was like, yeah, your strategy has been criticized, a little weird. What do you think? To which Phil responded, you're going to see more of our games on more platforms, and we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building, and we see that from players, and the players love to be able to play. So let me recap this.
Oh.
It started as 4 games. We're going to release these 4 games and we're going to see it. We're going to learn. And that quickly became, in mere months, we're going to put more games on more platforms. And this is a moment, I don't do this often, or at least I don't think I do. Maybe our listeners disagree. This is a moment where I will sit here and say, I told you so. Because I 100% thought this from the get-go. Like the moment they were like, we're gonna put, I was like, that's it. And now I'm in this space where I don't like this because I think the uncertainty doesn't do them any good.
It doesn't do them any favors, no.
So I almost would like okay, then just go third party. You can still make your console. Somebody will probably still buy it, but just say everything's going to be. As a consumer, as somebody who buys video games, we all deserve the right to know and expect what our options are. And right now, like Delvin asked, what are the nobody knows. Nobody knows. You do not know that you can't play Fable on PlayStation 5. You may think you don't, but you don't know that. Nobody does, and nobody can say.
Do not know if you can play Indiana Jones on PlayStation 5.
We have no idea. We have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't. We'll find out as we go.
By the way, during the Indiana Jones trailer, anybody else find that choo-choo train bit a little weird and out of place?
I didn't, but I don't want to get off the topic. Delvin, were you sleeping?
I didn't watch it.
No, I'm not sleeping.
Sean wants to know if you were sleeping.
Not yet.
So Sean brought up a thing where he's kind of going this like this back compatibility thing where he was kind of pitching that, like, okay, you remaster Halo 1 and you put that on PlayStation, and that might get somebody to buy a new Xbox to play the new Halo. And I think that's, I don't know, like, I could see that. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. Because here's one thing. I don't think people are going to switch behaviors like that. I think the moment you start delivering Halo on their console, they're just going to keep waiting. Okay, I've waited this long. I'll just keep waiting. I'll wait some more. The other thing is, like, you look at the games, they're already releasing Call of Duty on both. They're already releasing Minecraft on both. They're already releasing Doom on both, right? They're already starting to break down the commitments that they already made. So the idea that they would, like, keep it to, like, certain franchises or, like, only the older version, like, I don't think there's just not a lot of evidence to support that, right? Bethesda was bought to make more exclusives, and then here comes Doom, and it's day one on everything, which I support, by the way. I'm not making a case for exclusivity. Yep. Doom has always been on everything. I'm totally fine with that. I just want to understand and know what Xbox is doing. That's my take in it. I don't care if it's exclusive or not exclusive. That doesn't really matter to me. I think we deserve to know. Like, the point that I brought up, Delvin, while you were gone, PlayStation had a showcase, but with that showcase, they also had an investors meeting. And in their investors call, PlayStation specifically laid out their game portfolio. And they said, hey, we have these tentpole franchises, and these are always going to be exclusive. And they won't come to PC for many years. Like, this is our console business. And then they said, we have our live service games, and you can expect these games to launch on console and PC on the same day. And then they had a third tier where they're like, these are experimental titles, and we will play with these to see if we can attract people to get into our ecosystem. And that's where Lego Horizon fits. And that's why they're putting it on Switch, right? I want that from Xbox. Just tell me what we can expect. Or just say we're putting it on everywhere and we want you to be able to play everywhere. If they say that, I probably will still buy another Xbox because I really like but just let people know. Let people know where the hell they can play Gears E-Day. At this point, the only thing that I do know for certain is that I'm going to be able to play them all on Game Pass on my PC. Like, that's the thing that I know for certain. I can get them all on PC on Game Pass. John 32 says the value is Game Pass. Clearly, that is it looks like that's their only reason for selling hardware right now.
Yep.
Is Game Pass. And I think that's a problem. Because if that's your only reason for selling hardware, then I think you will continually sell less hardware than you already are. And if you're selling less hardware than you already are, guess what that means? Less people in Game Pass, which means Game Pass is. See, there's a whole cascading effect to this. Like, they need to sell hardware to get more Game Pass players to make Game Pass more sustainable. Or we've talked about this. I feel like we've talked about this over and over again. Or you have to find a way to get Game Pass to more people. I think what Xbox is thinking right now is, what if we just sell our games to more people and make more money that way? I think that's what they're thinking. And I think that might work. That's where I'm at. Just go third party. Third party doesn't mean we no longer make hardware. You can still make hardware. You can
buy our content elsewhere.
I think this makes a lot of sense if they're fucking doing a handheld. Make a handheld, let that be the hardware, and let people play. If you want to play on console, you got a PlayStation 5, you got a Switch 2, or you want to play on PC, you got a PC, or you can buy your Xbox handheld. That's nice. That fits.
Because let me put it to you right now. A lot of people know me at the network as the PlayStation person, but Xbox makes a lot of that I love a lot of the stuff that Xbox puts out. You know what I'm not as fond of? The controller. I've been on, like, I hate the misplaced sticks. I'm absolutely
guy myself. I love it.
I will absolutely buy 90% of the games Xbox puts out. They start putting them all on PlayStation.
I already Googled like PlayStation 5 controllers with split sticks.
I know you have. I knew as soon as you bought one that you were doing that. Like, I own an Xbox, and I turn it on for things like Avowed, and like I'll turn it on for Avowed, I'll turn it on for Fable, stuff like that. But if they put that stuff on PlayStation, I'm buying it there day one. Xbox is going to make a ton of money.
Well, see, that's the thing is I think most people would. If Gears is launching on PlayStation, they're going to sell a shit ton of copies of Gears, and maybe that makes up for whatever they're losing in the hardware space. I doubt it, but maybe it does. Because like the margins on hardware are very small.
At this point, it is not affordably sustainable for me to subscribe to Game Pass. I barely use my Xbox.
And we talked about this a bunch, and I'm trying to get off of this because I know we've done this a bunch, and I feel like it's regurgitating. I think in a lot of the conversations about this, it's like a zero-sum game. If Xbox goes third party, then suddenly they're out of the hardware business. Those aren't exclusive. You have to remember that Xbox is making hardware for almost 30 years, and they have customers that have been with them making purchases for that long that'll continue to just buy Xboxes, whether those games are exclusive or not, because that's where all their games are. That's where all the games that they've ever bought, all their 360 games or their back, and that's where all their stuff is, right? So like they could go third party and still make hardware and probably still be fine. Like it probably limits what they can sell. They probably can't sell 60 million of those, but can they sell 20? Probably. Yeah. Especially if they do a handheld too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be either or. It could be both. They could both publish their games everywhere and still sell hardware. And I just think like the Twitter, Reddit gaming, like the gaming forum community, they just can't have that. That like breaks their fucking brains. Yep. Like, no, if it's not exclusive, I don't need the box. Like that really is very anti-traditional, this market.
It's also just not really how the business works. Period.
Well, this will be my last point on the matter. I talked about this with Sean. I heard about this on a YouTube video that was recommended to me. I forget the podcast, a gaming podcast, one of the ones that like clips out. But the point that they were making is like, you look at what the Steam Deck is doing now, right? Delvin's got a Steam Deck. I have a Steam Deck. A lot of people have Steam Decks. They're not selling millions, but they're out there. We expect that this business has been so lucrative for Steam that you would expect them to keep making them, right? They're going to keep making more Steam Decks, Steam Deck 2, Steam Deck 3, whatever. Eventually, on the current path that we're on technology-wise, at some point in time, that Steam Deck will probably be on par or capable of doing the same things your console can do.
Yep.
And that, when those intersections meet, that's a very interesting position to be in if you're Xbox or PlayStation. Because suddenly, if Xbox makes a machine that's as capable as your PlayStation 5, Valve is selling machine to people that plays PlayStation games and Xbox games.
Yep.
And then, like, if you're that type of person that you've made your entire purchasing decision about exclusives, then a real question is, then why aren't you buying that instead? Because they're literally selling hardware that does both. And I think when you look at it through that prism, I think that's why you probably started to hear Xbox talking about, well, what if we put the Steam store on Xbox? I think they're kind of looking at it like, what if we're the only thing? What if our box only does one thing in a realm of PC devices that do all things?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're thinking everything's going to end up going that way. And we could be, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years from now, we could be looking at like PlayStation and Nintendo if they're on the same strategy of like this walled ecosystem as like dinosaurs. You know, we could be like, why would you have that when I could just get this and just do all of those things on it? It's just something to think about. It's an interesting thought process. But we spent way too much time on this already. I'm sorry. Any thoughts or topics, comments, or questions on Xbox before we move forward? I'm trying to get you guys back in the conversation, but Dev and Delvin are just kind of chilling.
Well, like I had a good showcase.
Gears look cool. You like Gears? Well, you liked South of Midnight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Game looks great.
Can't wait to play all this stuff on PS5.
I was really excited and surprised to see the Compulsion. That game looks so good. Not like good. Beautiful, like the environment and like the lighting and the like the glow effect that environment had. I was like, man, that's such an upgrade from anything that we saw with We Happy Few or their previous game.
I really liked Contrast.
Contrast
was a game that
I liked it. I would say I really like it. Was good, but
I really liked
that. You were that into it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I wish it had a platinum because I would have got it.
Haley, on the Xbox show, I was all alone. Nobody liked Adam Fall to me. Everybody was like, this sucked.
Adam Fall looks cool.
I thought Adam Fall looked cool too. I'm more into Adam Fall than like Avowed. And Avowed got
really good as well.
A new trailer where they showed off the actual gameplay and it looks better, but maybe it's just not a game for me because that game has just done nothing for me the entire time.
Okay, I have to point out it's definitely probably not a Donnie game because
we're looking at here.
It's also because it's Pillars of Eternity, but first person. So it's
I thought it was like when it was first pitched, the elevator pitch was like it's going to be like Skyrim, and I keep on. I'm like, this is not anything like Skyrim. I don't, So I don't know. Our next show, our last show, was the Ubisoft show, which happened on Monday. We had the Ubisoft show, and I watched the show. I watched the pre-show while I was working. Do you know that on the pre-show, they had a guy come in and talk about how they rendered water for Skull and Bones for like 10 minutes?
I did the whole thing. This I have not seen the pre-show.
And they have the waves and the water. He's talking about like how they make water. He's like, I am the water guy at Ubisoft.
Jesus.
All the games, I do all the... I was like, what the fuck are we doing? And that was when I knew. I was like, oh, that's like how this show's going to go today. Like, this probably is going to be that great. Because they got this dude out here talking about water, man.
For 10 minutes, he's talking about how the
it was long. Like, it wasn't like a commercial. This was a thing. This would have caught if this was you would have paid Jeff Keighley $2 million to talk about water this long. It was quite a bit. They did talk about Skull and Bones. I'm going to get through all the boring stuff. They talked about Rocksmith and how you can play piano with Rocksmith and how it's coming to PlayStation. You can play Rocksmith on PlayStation now. We talked about Anno 117 or 117, which is Romana. Cool. I'm sorry?
Oh, it's 117 Pax Romana, which is interesting.
One cool thing before we get into the big things, Motorfest, which is a game I really liked. They're getting a new expansion, of course. Ubisoft's going to Ubisoft. It's got a completely brand new island. So now it's double the size. There's a brand new island to explore. They're bringing back the Made in Japan 2 DLC expansion too, which was really cool. So they're doing a sequel to that. So that I installed it again. Like that day I was like, I guess I'm getting back in the Motorfest because that game was really good. It is Forza Horizon like.
Also,
if you have a PlayStation, this is as close as you have to Forza Horizon as possible. Like,
also at this point, did anybody know they added skateboarding to Riders Republic?
Does anybody care? That's why I didn't put it in the notes. Nobody cares.
Anybody play Riders Republic?
Yeah,
all 5 of you.
There's dozens of us. Prince of Persia had a few things. So the Mask of Darkness is the DLC that's coming out for Prince of Persia. They also had like update that came out. They're going to add new challenges, new platforming stuff. All that stuff came out then. They had the Rogue Prince of Persia. It's getting a new update that I didn't define all that because I know we don't do the roguelikes, but it's also getting a bunch of stuff. And then Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake got another like logo reveal where they basically put up like a little cinematic and a little shot coming 2026.
First game announced for 2026, by the way.
Coming out
2026. Which to go back to the Xbox show, some of the stuff that they showed, Perfect Dark, State of Decay, and Gears, we think are beyond 2025, so 2026 at the earliest. And the question that I had to Sean then was, are we even going to be playing that on Xbox, like on our current, like, is that even a Series X at that point? And I'd ask the same thing about Prince of Persia. When that remake comes out, what are we doing? Like, are we on PlayStation 5 then? Or have we all moved on? Like, like that seems still murky, right? It still seems up in the air. I think PlayStation, by all accounts, they have a Pro on the way, and you would hope that would extend the life cycle a little bit, but like, how much is a little bit? Are you going to be shocked if there's a PS6 in 2026? I think it's at least by 2027. Like, that's the furthest, I think. And like, they're going to have a new console by then, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
You'd think so, but who knows?
So it's crazy that we're already seeing games get announced that in my head, I'm already thinking these are quite possibly next-gen games.
Yeah.
That's a dark thought. Like, nobody wants to hear that. But like, that's where we are. I hate that Delvin got up and left. I hope he can still hear us. Let's talk about the cool things. They showed Star Wars Outlaws a lot. The damn thing had like a 15-minute gameplay, and this is what I want more than anything else from all of the showcases. Like, I kind of miss it. Like, the old man is coming out of me with these showcases now, that we just keep getting these cut scenes and filters and like snapshots of characters. Like, can somebody just sit down and play the fucking game? Can I just get somebody to play the game and not like talk about it like with different snots? Like, I don't want the doctored up version. Quit trying to present it to me.
I always go back to the God of War.
Want to see somebody pick up a controller, move the sticks, and see a character move. Like, just show me what the game is. Ubisoft did that in spades in this thing. Now, the showcase overall was pretty light. They didn't bring a lot of games. They didn't make a lot of new announcements, but it was carried on the back of Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws that got extended gameplay demonstrations. And in this trailer, we got to see dogfighting in space, which is 100% literally lifting Starlink Battle for Atlas and putting it in a Star Wars game. It is just Starlink. You get to fly around and shoot everybody. You get to fly to the planet, down through the atmosphere, and land on the surface just like you did in Starlink. I was like, holy shit, Starlink is back. That's awesome. And they showed this really great gameplay demonstration of like stealthing around a village to find things, through different combat. Star Wars Outlaws, I think, looks great. There's been mixed reactions to people that actually got to play it. But I'm actually surprised to tell you that I am like stoked to play a fucking Star Wars game. I can't wait. It looks really good.
I mean, I know, right? Donnie's excited. I know you're gonna play it on PC, but you have 3 days early access on PS5.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it on PC. Got to get the Ubisoft Plus.
The Ubisoft Plus.
No, we get the gold access Plus anyway. We'll have it too. But yeah, it looks Star Wars Uncharted. Yep. Like a lot of people are like, this is the Uncharted Star Wars game you've always wanted, and that's exactly what it looks like. Yep, they are eating EA's lunch.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this.
I'm not.
No.
I'm on the fence. I've always been kind of on the fence with this because I don't want to play Uncharted in the Star Wars universe. I'm not saying the game looks bad or anything. It's just I don't know that I'm that interested.
It's like the combat isn't there. It's just more the structure of the game.
The combat just doesn't look interesting to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, it looks, like combat to progress forward. It's not so much. It's not a game. Like, it's not a game centered.
I want to watch this story.
Yeah,
like that's really what it boils down to for me. I'm like, this looks like it could be a cool story, but I don't know that I want to play this game. So it's definitely we're gonna go ahead and get a $15 Ubisoft Plus trial and see.
Try it out. Yeah. Well, I'm very excited. And then the last game that they showed, which again, another big full gameplay demonstration, Assassin's Creed Shadows got an almost 13-minute demo of here's how this game plays from both protagonist angles, perspectives, and this shit looked amazing. And I have to count like the Nawe stuff, where not only could you prone, and they had her like zip up to the roof to hide, and she stabbed a dude through the wall, walked up to the shadow, stabbed him, crawling through the grass, and then my mind was blown when she crawls into the lake and uses a pipe to breathe. She sits in the lake and the pop out and murder dude. I was like, fuck me. Shadows looks amazing. Like this game looks awesome.
Really looks good.
Looks super fun.
I do also want to point out it was I know nobody else here is really that much of a fan of Kind of Funny, but Greg Miller pointed out he saw that demo.
I think Delvin is.
3 different. I know, but I'm referencing you because you're the other big Assassin's Creed person here. Greg mentioned he'd seen that demo 3 times. Once playing as Naue, once as Yasuke, and then a second time playing as Naue, doing combat the way Yasuke does, which means that you play Naue as like the brute force, go in the front door, do whatever you want, if you want, as an option, which is nice.
I think that was always an option. I mean, they said that she is stealth and that like she doesn't have the ability to just bust into the door, but
yeah, I think she's a little bit more limited. But like, if you want to hack and slash as Naue, I'm sure it's Assassin's Creed. They're gonna let you do it. They're not gonna like kick your ass and be like, you can't play this way. That's not the Ubisoft way.
I mean, like, Mirage kicked my ass, and that's why I wasn't a fan of it because I couldn't play that way.
You can totally just like you can brute force your way through it if you want to.
Yeah.
They really gang up on you and they try to teach you not to, but if you want to, you can. You just have to be committed and be willing to die.
He's telling you.
What?
I'm sorry?
Donnie's telling you, get good, noob.
Well, Mirage wasn't too bad. I didn't think it was too bad. But yeah, that was the Ubisoft showcase, which again, not a whole lot for like by Ubisoft standards. Didn't show off a lot of new things, didn't announce a lot of stuff in the future. It was really on, this is the stuff that we're bringing right now.
I can't believe there was no Just Dance. That's just...
there was. Yeah, there was.
Oh, there was? Okay.
It's Just Dance VR, I think, is what they showed off. I just didn't write it down because I didn't think it was all.
It was also in the pre-show, wasn't it?
What songs did they have? Like Sexy Red?
I don't know.
Drake.
They not like us. They not like us.
And then after that, there was Dragon Age trailer, which really fucking cool.
Yep, Dragon Age looks great.
Yeah.
This came out before all this stuff, but we didn't talk about it. At least I don't remember. I don't think we did yet. Jason Schreier had a report come out about Rocksteady, and he more or less said that the Rocksteady studio team has been working with all the other studios at WB to help them get their games going. So like a lot of them are working on Hogwarts Legacy, a director's cut that should be coming out. He claimed that the leaders of Rocksteady are pitching a new single-player game to Warner Bros. So whatever that means, probably I would imagine it's a Batman game.
It's
Batman. Like you'd have to think that, yeah, like they're going to try to, okay, let's just make the Batman game now. But the important part of his thing, which remains to be seen, but Jason Schreier is reporting that the plan is not to cut jobs at Rocksteady because their other studios are already like understaffed.
Yeah.
So until they get into full production of their next game, they're looking to reuse their developers at other places. So let them do support work for everything else until they get their next project ready. And they're not looking to make cuts, which is a good thing.
It is, which also, again, every time I see people going, I don't want Naughty Dog wasting resources on this port or this is what they do. They utilize the developers elsewhere until they have a project up in production.
That's been like on the PlayStation side, that's been Media Molecule's thing for a long time.
Yep.
Right. They get brought into different studios and can help out and do different things. So
absolutely.
And I know Xbox, the Coalition has helped different folks. Yep. They've got folks that help out as well, especially with Unreal Engine. They stated that like the Coalition's been helping out with State of Decay and stuff like that. Yep. So Metal Gear got the trailer during the Xbox show. Gameplay trailer looks good, looks great. They announced collector's editions. They're awesome. There's a deluxe edition that's only in Europe that I like more than the collector's edition, but both are good. Guess what they didn't announce and still have yet to announce?
a date.
A release date.
Nobody fucking knows when the game's coming out, and they're like being cagey as fuck. They won't answer any questions about it. Like, and they have like a blog post every day. Every day there's a trailer or something, and I'm not sure if they're just holding on to it to announce it like next week or if it's actually going to be delayed. I have no idea. I can't even speculate.
Here's my favorite part. I loved that GameStop. I'm specifying GameStop because they leaked, like, it was probably like a placeholder date and everything, but like they leaked November 17th, and that was a weird one. And then the next day, an article was written about it saying GameSpot leaked the date. To which,
that's frequent. But GameStop came out and said that was a mistake. We made that up on our own.
But I'm laughing because Timur's tweet was after they tweeted that GameSpot had leaked it. Timur Hussein, who's editor in chief there, was like, "No, the fuck, we did not. I did not need Konami's lawyers on my ass."
Yeah. So that was the showcases. That was the week that you missed, Delvin. That was all the showcases and everything. Be excited for lots of games. I do think, you know, I don't have a whole lot of energy tonight, but I was really enjoying the week. And I still stand. I think this year is going to be really good. Like, I saw a bunch of games that I want to play, that I want to buy.
Tomorrow is the Lollipop Chainsaw thing, and Life is Strange gets the gameplay revealed tomorrow.
We got Life is Strange. We got Star Wars. We got Assassin's Creed. We're getting these Xbox games. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming. So I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The big rumor that's going around right now is there was a third-party app that was using the API to connect to the Epic Game Store, just like SteamDB does. They made an Epic DB, and when they did that, it uncovered a bunch of games that have yet to be announced. Now, I say this with a caveat: the validity of these games are still somewhat in question. Some of them seem pretty on the nose. Other ones are like code names. Some of them are listed for like the developers that don't even count. So like they're probably just mistakes. So as with all rumors, take everything you hear with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
However, Epic immediately killed their API and shut this app down, like within hours of this coming out. So like some of it's real. I guarantee you some of it's real for sure. And here's some of the things that the internet sleuths has figured out. So like I said, many of the games are under code names, but because we have consoles and we have history, we can kind of tie some code names together. So some of the things that we know that are in there, Tlu 2 is in there. There's a code name Utah. That's The Last of Us. It's Last of Us 2. And that's sitting in the Epic Game Store back in at some point. There have been a lot of rumors that this has been done and they're just waiting for a good time to release it, possibly with the show or whenever their marketing wants to do it, but that's not surprising. There is a code name. I didn't write down the code name, but everybody thinks it's Red Dead Redemption, the original, a PC port of it. And the reason that they think it's that is because the file size is almost exactly the same as it is on PlayStation. So that's probably true. BioShock 4, which we know is in development, that's just in there. So that's one of the things. One of the things that I picked up on, there's a Turok game in that database that's being built by Saber.
Oh.
I think Delvin is asleep.
No, I'm not. I should have.
I got nothing. I got a stone face. Nothing for Turok. Saber Interactive making the Turok game. It can't be a remaster. They done remastered all the Turok games, right?
I think so.
So it'd have to be a new one or like a portable one, I guess, maybe. But like I would think a new one. So that's interesting. There are other code names in there, and I didn't write down all of the. I'll save you the math. If you care, go to the Reddit, go to the Games and Leaks, go figure it out. You can see all the math and people showed their work. But based on the code names and other things, they think that Rise of the Ronin is in there, the new Streets of Rage, Final Fantasy 16 port. Apparently Square Enix is possibly looking to remake Final Fantasy 9, and Civ 6 are in there. And a bunch of other things are in there too. But those were like the highlights that I did. So who knows? Who knows when any of them come out? Some of them could be canceled. Nobody knows.
There was a Bloodborne 2 in there, which that's absolutely bullshit, by the way.
There's probably a lot of bullshit in there. But with all that said, that's the rumors, that's the showcases, that's everything that happened. That's the news.
Sweet. Big week. Lots of games. And yes, Donnie, it comes across very much that even though you don't have all the energy, you're very excited for everything that you saw. And Kind of like your, Game of Christmas. Lots of stuff announced. So
it was fun. It was fun. I do enjoy it being condensed versus the years past, where it being all fucking
where it's all
having it all in 1 week and having the press be able to go hands on, which means that they could write their features and the previews. Like having it all at the same time was nice, and it did make it feel more exciting than I think it would be on its own.
Yeah,
I think.
Sweet. All right, Rude Days. Got a scoring update. He said Devin and a Delvin who looked suspiciously like TPR got the underwrite on the Xbox rumors narrowly, as we did get a Fable and a Perfect Dark trailer, but missing the Gears trilogy with the new Gears, and the handheld announcement was unfortunately not at the event. Everyone got the override on Destiny to the final shape, so right now the score is the Tribal Chief, Donnie, with 32, the up-and-comer Devin with 25, and Delvin with the League of PSVG Super Friends also at 25. So, yeah, it's close.
Delvin and friends gonna have to cut a We Are the World 2 or something.
Yeah. He says also, for those who I know are very much still interested, the Devin Invitational midseason tournament is all tied at 2. I don't even know what we're doing with that. Is it
just
over
like a
with?
good Lakers fan when the midseason bow out early.
Yeah, so we do. Speaking of which, Boston they won.
Fuck, again without KP?
Yeah.
Dude,
they
toast.
were up. They were up, I think.
Yeah,
2 points.
We were buying this Mavs hype.
So Boston was up with 3 minutes left, and Luka fouled out. Kyrie hit a shot to make it within 1, and then Dallas just kind of imploded, and Boston ran away with it.
We were blinded by our hatred for Boston.
I'm not blinded. I still fuck Boston. I'll never root for them. I always want them to lose. Anytime anybody's going against Boston, I'm rooting against them. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wasn't rooting for them, but I thought they were the better team. But I wanted to believe.
I won't even acknowledge them winning a championship. If they win, this didn't happen. I don't even acknowledge it. It's not real.
I agree.
Here's Joe to laugh.
Yeah. Screw Boston. Hope it falls off into the ocean.
I agree.
Yeah. So right now we've got an over under 78.5 for Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. The studio behind this game, A44 Games. Their last game was Ashen, which got a 78 on Metacritic. So over under 78.5 for Flintlock, Donnie.
I always got to pick first, huh?
Yeah, because you're up by 30,000 points.
This is the one I'm kind of wishy-washy on. I think it's a really good line. I could see people giving it a higher score because it's a lesser known thing. I think if they were grading it comparative to other games, I think it would be under. So I'm going to take the under.
Yeah. I also am going to go with the under. It feels like it's it's a new franchise, solid 7. That's where I see it.
I was going to go with under.
If it does good,
more like a 70 than a 79.
Mm-hmm. Under.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I won't lose a point.
Everybody taking the under?
Yep.
Yes.
It should be like a 98.
Okay. Yeah. I know, right? Crazy. All right. So over under 80.5 for the return of EA College Football. NCAA 14 got a 77, and the latest Madden received a 64. Madden is a weird one on Metacritic all the time.
That's true.
But NCAA is just a different beast. It's a different beast.
Yeah, it's very true because the last Madden is actually really good. And I think most people that play Madden we most all accept that it's good. It's better. It's an improvement over where it's been. And yeah, it's 64. It's kind of egregious.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over. Yeah.
I'm
taking the under.
Okay.
I'm also taking the over. I don't think people realize how good this game is and the hype surrounding it.
I'm so excited.
It's going to do well. It's going to do very well.
I think how different it is than Madden, I think is what's going to surge the numbers.
Yeah,
it's kind of arcadey. It's got a lot of stuff. It's got its own. That's the only thing. If the mechanics come off wrong to people, I could see them killing it. But I honestly think like the gamer media are going to appreciate that it has different mechanics, even if they don't like them. Right? They're going to be like, but it's different, right? And they're going to applaud different because Madden's been the same for 20 years.
Yeah, it's gonna get a bump just because it's not Madden. Like that is.
I agree. I think it's an 85 because it's not Madden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And I've read enough footage of it to understand why they're like really hard about saying like we're not a reskin Madden, and they're not. They've went out of their way to be like this is not Madden. Brand new kicking controls, brand new passing mechanics, all kinds of different stuff. The wear and tear system, like it is not going to play like Madden, and that is a thing. If you're actually planning to boot that up and just play traditional football, just know that you're not. It's not even going to play like NCAA 14. It's different. It's its own thing. Yep. I think there's going to be like an adjustment period to it.
All right. It's question time. I feel like we did this last week. Did we answer TPR's Godzilla -1 question?
It was still here when I started doing the notes, so I don't know.
Like
last week on the show, you didn't ask his question because he was here.
Oh, that's right.
So maybe we saved it for Delvin.
So TPR says Godzilla -1 just appeared out of nowhere on Netflix the other day, and he was pumped because he missed it in theaters. Same. What are some of your favorite or best shadow drop memories, whether it be movies, games, or other media?
It's a great question.
I don't think I have any, to be honest, because I can't remember any that I was like.
Immediately comes to mind is PT.
Okay, he's a great one.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either. It was just like, and it's out now, out of nowhere.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Nah, I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
What was the? I'm about to Google gaming shadow drop, but I feel like was the Dreamcast a shadow drop? Didn't they just be like, and the bitch is out now?
Pretty sure they did actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know it was shadow drop of all shadow drops. So like, this is a Dreamcast, and people are like, "That's cool," and they're like, "And you can buy it today."
Oh, hold on. It might have been as Dev said, it might have been the Saturn. I know it was one of these Sega consoles, but
yeah, I know one of them just got like,
yeah,
the shit is here. Like, here you go. Let's Metroid Prime Remastered, Hi-Fi Rush, the Quake Remaster, Fallout Shelter was a shadow drop, NES Remix was a shadow drop.
Oops.
NES Remix.
I still haven't had a chance to play Hi-Fi, honestly. So,
and it was the Saturn.
Keep waiting.
It was the shadow drop, not the Dreamcast.
Oh, there's already they did put a Hi-Fi on, didn't they? They did that on that. They just didn't do it to Switch.
They have it on PlayStation. I just haven't. Again, it's been slow at work, so I've been saving my money for the big stuff. So we got the fall releases coming up. So,
but I immediately think of PT anytime I ever hear the word shadow drop, because it came out, and I remember just how uneventful that announcement was. It came out, he's talking about his game and everything. He's like, yeah, and we've got this thing we're going to put on the store and you can play it. And I feel like the crowd reaction was just like, oh, that's cool. And like, nobody really cared. And I was like, I wonder what that is. And I immediately downloaded and I started playing. I was like, oh my God, like, holy shit, this thing is awesome. You know? So that was a big one for me.
I definitely remember I was in Vegas and I had my PlayStation with me and they came out and we were like, oh, let's check it out. So we just spent a couple of hours.
I just don't think anybody had any idea of what we were about to, you know.
I mean, they were all in the audience, so they couldn't play it. So, yeah.
Well, that's true. And, you know, online was different, but I feel like those were MTTG days. And I remember, I feel like I remember, driving the hype. Like, yo, you got to download this fucking thing. You don't know what you're getting into. Like, it's not what you think. You know, without spoiling it for people, like you so badly would hit the internet and be like, "Fucking Silent Hill," you play, you know, but like you don't want to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't my type of game, so I also was like, okay, this is fun for a few hours, and now we're gonna go.
I just remember being like, for the first time, getting like that scary feeling in a game since like, you know, my first Resident Evil like 10 years ago. You know, like I was like, oh shit, we actually have a scary game again. You know, that's nice.
Ed wants to know, do you think Nintendo's successor reveal could disturb some gaming plans this fall and winter?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Announcement just turning off. Yeah,
I think that Nintendo does its thing, and it's going to get people hyped up, and people are going to be excited for it, and people are going to be excited for the new Switch. It may stop people from buying Switches, if anything. Like, oh, I'm not buying no Switch now. They had plans for it, but you know,
I mean, that won't happen until they announce it, and even then, it matters on how they announce it and what games come out. Right? If they drop Metroid Prime 4, people buy Switch. If they have a Metroid Prime like console, they're going to buy that too.
Yeah.
I also think when Nintendo announces the Switch 2, if they make it very clear that any games you buy on Switch 2 or on Switch, you can just keep playing on Switch 2, I think that'll keep people buying stuff. I would have to ask Ed what plans he's talking about. I don't think people are going to not buy an Xbox or PlayStation because they're waiting on the Switch 2. I do think there are people, I would say like me, but even not like me. I've seen them on Reddit and stuff that are probably not going to grab an Ally or a Steam Deck right now because they're waiting on Switch 2. So I think that could be a thing. But it just depends on when Nintendo announces it. We could go this whole year and they not announce it. Nobody knows. So
yeah, it's not launching till next year now. So
correct. So like we think they'll announce it this year, but they don't have to, and we don't know.
Yeah. Geek to Me Radio says, what are your top 5 favorite first-person shooter games ever made?
Call of Duty, Destiny, Gears off the top of the head.
Yeah, for me, Destiny 2, Modern Warfare.
Hold on. Does Gears, it's first-person shooter, right? Gears.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm
first-person Gears
shooters. Yeah, you're right.
Doom, Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein is good.
Fuck. I've only played Killzone Shadowfall, so I can't really speak to the others. There, I don't know. Call of Duty is like all right. Not really, no.
Damn.
But I've also been told that Shadowfall was kind of the worst one, so.
It's what you enjoy. See, it's kind of hard for me because I wouldn't call the games I like first-person shooters. Like first thing that comes to my mind is Chronicles of Riddick. But you're not really shooting in that. You're not really shooting in that. They're shooting sections. It's like a first-person action game. BioShock Infinite is definitely one of them.
No, BioShock's good.
Ooh, yeah, BioShock Infinite for sure.
Yep. BioShock Infinite. What's another good one I like a lot?
Avatar.
BioShock Infinite.
It's your shit.
Absolutely not.
Welcome back.
Fuck off. Dude, when they showed that expansion, I was like, they're still making content for that?
They can shove that expansion up their ass by playing that garbage. I think when I was first person shooters, I'm like, I'm with my Chronicles of Riddick. So BioShock Infinite, Chronicles of Riddick. What's other 3 more good ones? You know what? Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That's 3.
I could probably answer this question with just Call of Duty game.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. I need one more.
You don't need one more. You can just leave it at 4 if you want.
I only gave 3.
You know what? It's not a first-person shooter at all. It's a first-person survival horror game.
See, I was gonna say Dying Light, but I didn't do a whole lot of shooting in Dying Light. So
I don't do shooting in Dying Light either.
I like that's first
Dying
person.
Light is a fucking melee game for me, buddy.
Yeah.
Slicing and dicing.
Yeah, all the ones I like are like first person, like horror melee games, like Resident Evil, 7, 8.
So I'm gonna go Cyberpunk.
Oh,
That's a
Cyberpunk.
good one. Cyberpunk.
I'm gonna go Spec Ops: The Line.
That's not first
Call
person.
of Duty: Infinite Warfare.
Okay, but Spec Ops: The Line is not first person. It's third.
Is it not?
Person. It's third person.
That's third person.
You're right.
Third person.
I haven't played that game in so long. I just wanted to.
Can you even play it now? Because they delisted it.
Yes, you can.
See, yeah. As the last time I played it right when I first got my Ally. So it's been a minute.
That's what I play it on.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so scratch that. So Cyberpunk. I'll go Wolfenstein 2. Call of Duty Infinite. I'll do Dusk.
Right.
I really like that game. Everybody should play Dusk on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Like I said, I'd probably just fill it with another Call of Duty game. Call of Duty. I like Modern Warfare 2.
That's my Modern Warfare 2. Like none of the other ones. Just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that other game back then? What was the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 like game? Like we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at home. Do you remember that? Where like the Chinese invaded the US and shit? They had 2 games. The sequel was trash.
Homefront.
Homefront.
Let me choose that one. I loved the first Homefront. Loved that game back in the day. That shit was awesome.
AKA Red Dawn.
Yeah, it's basically just Red Dawn.
Perfect. That's what Modern Warfare 2 is. Red Dawn 2.
I mean, that's what all of the original Modern Warfare is just Red Dawn, basically. After the first one, it's basically like, oh yeah, we're fighting on home turf.
Yeah, by the way, new Call of Duty looks awesome. Everybody should play it.
Looks good.
It looks very good.
I still haven't had a chance to play MW3, so
I gotta play Spec Ops Line again. I can't remember. I thought it was first person. I was almost sure of it.
Nope. Third person cover based shooter.
No, you're right.
Correct.
I thought the same thing about Gears. Because so often it's just shooters. They just play shooters.
Yep.
I love that nobody said Halo. It's great.
No. Yeah, I've never been a Halo
I love it.
guy.
Just warms my heart.
I've never been a Halo guy. Even when Halo was cool, I was never.
The only Halo I put extensive time into is Infinite, and that's mostly just playing the multiplayer with Sean.
I've beaten a couple of them, either with friends or by myself. But yeah, I mean, shooting is fine, but I've never liked the rest of the game. Like the arenas, and I hate the vehicles, and it's not like
the reality is you guys really don't like first person shooters. That's what it really boils down to. Like you guys were picking third person. No,
I love Wolfenstein. I just beat it.
All the stuff that you really picked was third person games. Like when the things that came to your mind were third person.
Well, I was just thinking my favorite shooters first.
Delvin was picking action
Call of Duty. I thought Cyberpunk.
Also,
Cyberpunk,
hold on.
I wouldn't even say it's really a first person shooter.
I wouldn't say it's a first person shooter. It's an RPG. It's an action RPG.
Oh, hang on. I didn't even mention Far Cry. What the fuck am I doing? Far Cry 5
Far Cry,
and 6.
Yeah, Far Cry.
I played Cyberpunk the first time. I played it like I played Far Cry. It was a Far Cry game for me the first time.
I forgot about Far Cry. Yeah, you're correct.
So you can argue all you want. I played that motherfucker like a first person shooter. 100% I did.
Yeah,
I kicked the fucking door in and started blasting everything with boomsticks.
So anyway, I started blasting.
That's it.
Fucking.
But yeah, I completely forgot about Far Cry until you said that. And like, yeah, Far Cry should have come first in line.
I love Far Cry 5.
It's hard to remember them all. And then like, I'm not sure if I'm getting old or if it's just the drink or whatever. We get these questions and like somebody's like, name me your 5. And I'm like, suddenly I can't remember anything I've ever played. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. It's like I've played 10,000 video games. Suddenly I can't come up with 2 of them. Like, I don't know.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Age. It's wonderful. Just forget all the stuff you've done.
Yeah.
Cal the Pug wants to know.
Fuck you, Cal the Pug.
There we go.
There it is.
What are some of your favorite Jerry West moments?
Delvin, tell us the stories of your childhood.
Right. We're not that old.
Delvin is.
No.
He played basketball with him in grade school.
Who's Jerry West?
They went to the AAU team together.
Who is this person?
Is the logo?
Yeah, he's the logo. You mean who's Jerry West? He's an icon. What are you talking about?
I don't
Jerry
watch
West.
sports.
Doesn't matter.
Basketball player.
You still know. You've seen the NBA logo, right? That's Jerry West. He's literally, that's why he's called the logo. He's literally the logo.
My favorite Jerry West memory is when they tried to change the logo to Kobe Bryant.
That's so bad. Don't say that. Damn, y'all doing wrong. He died today. Show him some damn slack. You fuck.
No.
Yeah. People die every day. All right. I don't know Jerry West. I got nothing for him.
I should know that.
Oh, that's okay. Well, then I will stand for Jerry West. Jerry West is an icon and one of the most influential people in the game of basketball of all time.
Yes.
In fact, he will go into the Hall of Fame this year as a contributor, meaning that he will be a 3-time Hall of Fame inductee to the NBA. Once as a player, where he won multiple titles and went to fucking obscene 10 finals.
He's the only person to win the MVP as a loser.
As a loser, yeah. That's how good Jerry West was. His team went to the finals and his team lost, and they still gave him the trophy because he was that much better than everybody else.
They always lost.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. How many? Hang on. When you say that, how many people idolize Carmelo or AI?
I'd still say the same thing. I don't want to get the MVP if I lost.
That's how good he was. He also won. He did get over the hump. He did win. But he also might be the greatest architect of basketball teams of all time. He created the Showtime Lakers. He got Shaq to come to LA. He traded up and drafted for Kobe. He went to Memphis and put them in the playoffs his first year. He went to Golden State and won 2 titles as an executive. He is literally almost everything he touched as a general manager or a front office person literally turned to gold. He went to everywhere and won. He was winning at everywhere. Everywhere he went to, he made dynasties.
He made up for losing 8 times in the finals.
He has I don't know what it is, but he has 12 rings. It's obscene. If you count all of his rings as a player and an executive,
he only has one as a player.
Right. Right. But how many does he have as a GM or executive? Isn't it 8 or 9? He has a shit ton.
So we should not make Jordan a logo then.
I don't think they're good. And that's the second part. Will there ever be another player to replace Jerry West on the logo? What's the point? There's no reason to replace the logo. The logo is the logo. It's fine. There's no need to change it.
It's perfect.
I'm a traditionalist, and I like that logo. That logo has a lot of staying power. Now, I wasn't against them changing it for Kobe, and if you were going to change it, I like the Kobe silhouette. I wouldn't change it as much as I would say you introduce a secondary logo that you use for the mid-season tournament or international player. You could do something like that.
You leave the goddamn logo alone.
I would leave it alone. You don't mess with tradition.
Yeah, there's no reason to change the logo.
Certain things are timeless, and they lose their specialness when you fuck with it and you start changing.
The Ducks logo in hockey when they changed it.
Exactly. It's exactly my point. I didn't even know that they changed that, but when you showed it to me, I was like, "What is this shit?" And where did the Mighty Ducks go? If I didn't like hockey before, I hate it more now. Now, I actually hate it. I root against it.
I'm not going to say the offensive coming out. I was going to say so. I'm going to leave that alone.
Why not? It's your first show back.
Please, be all kinds of offensive. We?
Yeah, who's this we?
I'm not important enough to be canceled. I can't be. I don't do anything.
Canceled from what?
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Only the 7 listen this long to the show.
Right. Not going to lie.
What?
I don't want to say it. But okay. I know you're thinking it. When they changed the Washington Redskins to the Washington team.
Oh, well, the Commanders
football team.
It's one of the biggest downgrades of all time. That is, nobody likes the Commanders. Even the Indian people are offended by the Commanders. They're like, this is some bullshit.
They like,
I hate.
Put it back. We like the racist part. Like, put it back. This is terrible.
Like, just be like the Braves and make a deal and let's bring it back because this is
just some money.
This is terrible.
Just give
the Seminoles.
Yeah. What is Cleveland called now? What are they called?
That I don't mind as much, but it's not Chief Wahoo, but I don't mind it. We're the Guardians.
I hate that shit.
Why?
Because it just sounds
Cleveland
stupid.
Neighborhood Watch.
Well, the thing that I would say differentiates us from Washington is that the Guardians, the reason that they're named that is in Cleveland on the bridges that in or out of the city, there are these gigantic Guardian statues that are like built into the pillars, and they've always kind of been a part of Cleveland, like dating back to like the 1910s. So it is kind of homegrown to be called the Guardians because they're named after the Guardian statues. It's not Chief Wahoo, but that has been a touchy point in Cleveland for a long time. We've had people protest and like riot outside the stadium and stuff. So I'm kind of happy that they changed it just to put that behind us.
I don't appreciate
the Cleveland Indians logo. The Cleveland Indians logo is wild. Like even
the Cleveland Indian logo is pretty racist, man. Like I love it. I'm not even lying to you. I love it. As a logo,
I love it too.
Chief Wahoo is awesome. It is also really racist. Like it is. It just is racist.
Like extremely. Like
I love it. I hate the Guardians. I hate the name. I hate the logo. I hate everything about it.
Well, they tried to keep the Guardian, like they kept the script the same, they kept the colors the same. Like they've tried their best to like, still keep the legacy going. I don't mind it.
Indian hats were always my favorite hats. Can't wear them in LA because it's Inglewood families and you'll get shot. But I love that hat.
I wouldn't know that. I just go to LA and get shot. Like, I'm from Cleveland.
No, nobody would bother you. You're white. Nobody's paying you any attention.
Yeah.
I can't wear it. Delvin can't wear it. You're fine.
Definitely can't wear it.
Awesome. Privilege. Take it.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Winning.
Okay. All right. Take that and clip it out of context.
See? Say your racist shit, Delvin. I've already paved the ground for you. They're canceling first. I'm white. I'm white. I'll be canceled. You won't. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. The Washington Redskin logo was way better.
It was way better. Commanders is one of the most boring, bland brands of a team ever.
Sometimes racism just works.
I told my wife that on TikTok.
What a sentence!
So on TikTok, there's a trend going around out right now where there are these Asian folks. They do the kung fu fighting song. Here it is, kung fu, and they all do like some Tai Chi shit when they do it. And my wife saw it and she was like, "This is super racist." And I was like, "Yeah, but they're Asian. Like they're doing it, right?" I was like, "There's a difference. Racism can be fun when it's fun. Like if it's meant in a fun way. It's when it's meant in a hateful way that nobody likes it, right? Like, this is fun. It should be fun." But I don't. Chief Wahoo. Only a certain amount of people found that. A lot of people found that shit.
Wild logo. I'm looking at the older versions of it, and they are horrible. I'm like,
so if you Google it, I'm sure you'll come across this photo. There's an infamous photo that has haunted the Indians forever, where there was a protest about Chief Wahoo outside Cleveland Stadium in the 90s, where there is a white dude dressed up in all fucking Indian paint, head feathers and everything, arguing with an actual Indian that's there to protest.
Oh my God.
And they are like face to face yelling at each other. And I kid you not, for no other reason than that photo exists, change the name and change the logo. Like I was like, just change everything. Just change it. Just change it. We got to put that, we got to bury that and move on. Just put that in the past. That's why you got to change Wahoo. It can't be, there's nothing that erases that. There's no amount of money that gets
none.
That. None.
I'll always miss it. Not gonna lie.
So unfortunately, Ohio's going to Ohio, and
terrible logo.
Yeah.
So Free to Play Joe says, if Astrobot performs well sales wise, could Asobi be the studio to bring back some dormant PlayStation IPs like Sly Cooper?
I mean, I would love Sly Cooper to come back. I don't know that Asobi's going to want to touch Sly because they kind of had their own identity as a platformer, to be honest. Like,
Astrobot does well, they will do another Astrobot.
Yeah.
That's what I would think, yeah. Or
do another Astrobot.
I would say their own thing. Maybe
another
they could do something else. Astrobot karting, let's go.
Yep, that's what you'll get. Little big Astro. You get all that. You get as much Astro kart as you need.
Astro kart.
Yeah, man.
Astro gun.
Astro Bloodborne.
Astro XCOM.
You gotta get the TV show, the cartoon show, the cereal, the
Astro Hack and Slash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Streets of Rage. We just keep picking them all up and
keep putting that damn bot in everything, huh?
Who makes the Sly Cooper franchise? Which studio does that?
Sucker Punch.
No one.
So, like, I think the better question, Joe, is did Sucker Punch want anybody else doing it? You know, that's probably the more important question. Sucker
Punch went from Sly into Infamous. So.
What's an upgrade?
And from Infamous into Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, we're filling upwards at this point. We're not going backwards to Sly Cooper.
Astro Souls-like.
Imagine the response of the Sucker Punch, like, we're making like Sly Cooper again.
Astro Hero Shooter.
It's gonna be like, yo, get these people the fuck up out of here.
Right.
I love if we do like an Astro All-Stars, where it's PlayStation All-Stars, but it's just all the Astro characters of the different PlayStation people.
Yeah.
It's Astro Kratos and Astro Rappa and Astro Drake. And it's just
and it will probably sell just as much as the last PlayStation All-Stars game.
Probably sell more.
6 copies. 3 of which from me.
Do you see the Astro? Apparently, folks are not mad, but like PlayStation or Sobe seems to be trolling the shit out of the Bloodborne people. So they just like keep putting Astro Bloodborne over all of the shit.
Like, so he the Astro guy dressed as a Bloodborne hunter is in the first one, and he shoots at you if you walk near him. But then the trailer for the new one and one of the pre-order icons is the Bloodborne Astro.
They're just like rubbing the salt in the wound.
Oh, Astro
and Smash. I'm gonna get an Astro tattoo.
That's it.
No, you won't.
You know, on your neck like Cody Rhodes and that dumbass
it's neck. Like on the face, just silhouette.
Okay, hold on. The image of Donnie with an Astrobot on his face.
Astro tattoo.
She worked. I like it.
Snurse wants to know, who would you play couch co-op with? It could be anybody, alive or dead. Absolutely. And what game would you play?
Delvin.
No.
Wow.
I would
just play with your son? You can just pick your son. Like, wow.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my kids in Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I mean we did that. We did that together, but still now. If I had, I'll pick the Power Rangers game because when that was announced, I was like, "Hey, do you want to get that and we'll play through that together?" And he was like, "Sure." But like, do I want to? Not really. Wow. I don't want to. I'm not like, man, I can't wait to play co-op together.
If I have to pick an answer, the answer is Delvin. But yeah, I'm not usually a couch.
No, I'll change my answer. I have an answer. Yes, I'm gonna get that fucking Jackbox Naughty at Night game that they're coming out with. I'm gonna play with my wife. Fuck yeah, I am.
Y'all are shooting too low.
They're doing that Jackbox After Dark game, and we are going to be getting it.
Y'all are doing like things y'all can actually achieve. Like y'all can do these things. I'm going high. Meg the Stallion.
I already knew where you were going. I knew you.
Goddamn right, you knew I was.
I saw a video of her the other day. Come across like a music video. I don't know if it's a new one or no. I was like,
you make music.
Delvin knows what's going on.
Delvin watches all her stuff on mute. I don't even know she makes music.
Slow motion.
Yeah. Moving on. TPR says, apologies if Donnie repeats himself from the Xbox Empire episode this past weekend, but alas, haven't finished listening to that one yet. He's curious to hear Delvin's take on this specifically. He says, with the announcements of the prequel Gears E-Day, Should he wait to play the Gears games, remastered or otherwise, until after E-Day? Would playing E-Day first get him more enjoyment out of the series or no?
I would say play the original trilogy first.
Yeah, I was gonna say play the originals.
I feel like E-Day is gonna have a lot of add a lot of context to things that you've seen and little Easter eggs that's gonna lead to get more of enjoyment. And plus, just to get a feeling if you even like the Gears of War series, you might not even like the Gears of War series. You might play one and be like, "Oh, this is trash." But I love Gears. Gears is one of my favorite series, so I would play the original Gears of War trilogy first. See if you like that. Get the context of it. Get the relationship building of Dom and Marcus, and then go to E-Day.
Yep.
I love Gears of War. So great.
It is. It's very good. I love Gears.
I would tell you, my answer would be to, at the very least, play Gears 1, which has been remastered and is on Game Pass. Just play that one. You could go from just that one to E-Day and be just fine. When you go to play Gears 2 and 3, it's going to be the original version. So you're going to be playing some old game at this point. And that's okay. The story's still great, but I could see how that could be jarring. So I would tell you to play the first one. And then if you want to wait until E-Day for that, I think that'd be okay. And then you can decide if you want to go back. But ideally, story-wise, I think ideally you would have played Gears 1 and 2 before playing E-Day. I think you can wait on 3, but I think you need to play 1 and 2.
I gotta play Judgment.
No, you don't. Nobody has to play
that one.
Nobody wants to play Judgment.
That one didn't exist.
Fuck Baird. That's all I have to say. Fuck him.
Wow.
No, I don't want to. That's why I want to play go up the next Stallion, not Barrett. He clearly wasn't
There you
right
go.
there.
The trailer for E-Day is fucking sick. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's really good.
Cool. Barrett33 says, what Guardian class best represents your co-host? He's asking me specifically, and all of you fuckers are Titans. All of you fuckers are Titans. You just want to smash things in the face.
That's awesome.
That's it.
I play Warlock. What do you even...
Y'all are all Titans. All of you eat crayons, you're Titans.
No.
Wow. We gotta eat crayons.
Wow.
It's a thing from the game.
Eat crayons?
Especially
the
the red.
from the game.
It's delicious.
You would say that.
I play a Warlock though. Like I've played Warlock since Destiny 1.
Telling you, you're being miscast.
Yeah. I'm saying you're all Titans.
You're all I don't care what you play.
Yeah, doesn't matter what you play.
Doesn't
matter what your name
Warlock,
is.
apparently.
You're a Titan. Yeah, I have a friend who plays a hunter. He's a goddamn Titan because he's always trying to smash things in the face. I'm like, you're supposed to be in the back sniping and moving quickly, but you're just sitting here trying to punch the boss in the face. You're a hunt. Stop it. Just
we need more
Titan.
like drop kicks in these sorts of games.
Which is why you're a Titan. And see, Hayley, you're agreeing with him. You're a Titan.
Like I need like an anthem. If I could fucking run around in that damn Hulkbuster and just drop kick some people, game of the year, man.
We just need not to play this. We just decided to move on. Call it a day.
I mean, that's what. I mean, clearly. Yeah. But
we've seen enough. Now we should
play one game for 20 years. Just keep playing the same damn thing every 4 months.
Society
Destiny is cooking. It's great.
Is it really the final shape?
No, not at all. It's just
they've already come up with this trailer talking about the next Destiny, whatever.
Yeah, it was never in
apparently Luke Smith is back as community manager.
The killer trapezoid.
Luke Smith never left. DMG is back as community member.
Okay.
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. DOC.
They got an album. They got an album coming. DPG is back.
Fuck yeah, they're like 50.
They are old as hell.
Still rap about shit from the 90s.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's West Coast, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, West Coast back up, baby.
West. Let's do it. Stingray X says, seeing that we saw many 2025 dates, what game do you predict that will come to 2025 that's not yet announced? I don't even know what that means.
I think Far Cry is next year.
I think it is, yeah.
I think Battlefield's next year.
So if Borderlands is not announced at Gamescom opening night live or around that time, I would see Borderlands 4 is next year as well. We know it's coming.
I think Resident Evil 9's next year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
When I know that we've had people corroborate the rumors. When do you think we get the Code Veronica /1 remake?
That I don't know. I think it's the next mainline. I think is the next one, but it could be another remake. But I'm going to say
next year.
Well, I think Resident Evil 9 is first, and then the then the Code Veronica thing.
I agree. I think the next Metro game is next year.
Okay.
I don't know, but I want to say if they're still working on it, which they always said they have, the Witcher remake should be next year.
No.
They announced that thing like 4 years ago.
No, it was 2.
Was it?
It's 2022 that it was announced.
Well, that was 2021 it was announced.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 2022.
Maybe it's not next year. Could be next year.
Could be, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2026.
I think probably the Max Payne remakes come out next year.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Probably those before Control.
So here's the question, though. Are they using the original audio?
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, the reason I ask is because he's gone now.
Yeah, I don't know. GTA's next year, Monsters next year, Death Stranding's next year. The Black Panther game is next year.
Might be. I think it's actually a likely possibility that the 1943 Rise of Hydra game is next year. Black Panther maybe after that.
I thought that was the Black Panther game.
There's two. There's the open world Black Panther game being developed by EA, and then
the other one.
The 1943 one where you play as Black Panther, Captain America.
Yeah, I think that's next year.
Yeah, I think that's next year as well.
That's gonna be cool.
Wolverine's next year?
No, Venom.
Maybe
Wolverine is 2026.
Venom. Yeah, Sony's the one because like Nintendo's its own thing, right? They're gonna launch a system. They're gonna have a new Mario. They're gonna have a Metroid.
Okay, hold on. Well, hold on. The shit-eating grin on Delvin's face.
What happened?
He's singing the Eminem Venom song. That's what it was. I don't know if anybody else picked that up.
And he just started with Eminem.
Yeah, I still don't know about that movie. Movie's fucking terrible. It's terrible. It's so bad.
The song is great though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a good song.
song.
And also, I love that movie. I'm sorry, but I know it's bad, but I like that movie.
It's bad and terrible. It's just so bad.
So yeah, Nintendo, they got a system. So new Pokemon, new Mario, probably new Metroid, new Kart, new Splatoon, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Sony, I mean, Xbox, we know they're doing Doom, South of Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? The big one.
So all that stuff, you think all that stuff that's going to come out next year?
Yeah.
The Doom, the South Midnight.
Yeah, those are for sure.
Yeah. Indie's supposed to come out this year, isn't it?
Indie's this year. It could be like January, but I think Indie's this year.
Yeah, I'm like, they didn't show Indie at the event. Did they show it?
They did. They did. A Fable.
Didn't list it.
Fable, right?
Is that next year?
Fable could be next year.
Yeah, Fable's next year.
The Fable is
so next year's Fable, South of Midnight, and Doom. Those are like the big ones. Those are the pillars.
So
I would also not be surprised to see a new Forza Horizon because I'm pretty sure there's still a dedicated Horizon.
They're two teams. I think it might be too early, but you might be right. It's not a bad guess. PlayStation's the one where we really don't know what's going on.
Does the next Horizon game launch on PlayStation?
Forza?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one that I would do. Like if I was Xbox, I would put Forza.
Mm-hmm.
I would go toe to toe. Ghost of Tsushima should be next year.
I think it gets announced.
I think it'll get announced next year, but it ain't coming next year.
This is a question.
I think it's coming out next year.
2026.
Wow. That's a whole new console. What are you talking about? It is, though. No, I think it's coming out next year. They shipped Ghost in what, like 2020?
We're getting new consoles in 2028.
Nah, we're getting sooner than that.
They're like, we're good here. We got delayed with COVID. We're just going to let these things ride out.
Is Housemarque ready to ship a game?
Maybe.
I think maybe so. And then I would say either Bend or Blue Point.
We might see Bend's game, yeah. Bend, yeah.
Those are the next ones up in my head that I think from PlayStation.
Life or Filter.
Oh, Marathon? Does that launch? Bungie? They can launch? That's probably next year. Yeah. One of the Guerrilla games? They have a bunch in the works.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they have like 2 teams or 3 teams, but they are apparently working on a bunch of Horizon shit. They've got a mobile game. They've got a multiplayer game.
Horizon 3.
They can keep all that shit. Just give me part 3. Goddamn mobile game. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. A bunch more than just.
I'm not going to get shit.
You're going to get it.
I'm not going to get shit.
Away. They're going to get it.
I'm getting part 3 and that's it. The rest of it doesn't exist, like this Boston Championship. Never happened.
But yeah, that in my head, that's what I'm thinking next year for things that are unannounced. I know we talked about a lot of things that are announced. So I kind of fucked up the question because I'm just thinking out loud. But the things not announced, I'm thinking Far Cry, Battlefield, Resident Evil, Max Payne, Ghost of Tsushima, a couple other exclusives from Sony, and the Nintendo stuff. It's a pretty big year. Black Panther, Captain America, 1943 or whatever.
It's just called 1943 Rise of Hydra.
That thing. I think that ships. And then, I mean, the big one is just GTA launch next year.
I think, yes.
They keep saying that is, but we will see.
I hope so.
Daniel, listen to me, buddy.
I saw that. I was just waiting.
Is 2+ years away, if not 3 or 4, buddy. Let it go. Like if it was coming out next year, they would have dated it. They didn't date it, which means it's not coming out next year, which means at best it's 26 and could be significantly further than that. Oh, what about the Tomb Raider game?
I think it gets announced like
I think it might be a little early.
Releases.
Yeah, I'm agree with you there. I think it gets announced. It doesn't come out next year. That's not plenty of games. They showed you a trailer of gameplay. You're like, plenty of gameplay. No. It's not.
That was a lot.
I think what we saw was a vertical slice of what that game
exactly.
It's absolutely a vertical slice.
That game is. I think that game's 3 years away.
Daniel's just used to mobile games. They don't really show what those games look like anyway, so he's just expecting. They show this, so it's going to be something that comes out.
It was very impressive. It's nice to see what they're doing. Delvin, you haven't seen the Perfect Dark trailer?
No.
So it's not like what you remember Perfect Dark. It's think like Deus Ex. Think Deus Ex, think Hitman, think Control, and not GoldenEye first person shooter.
Also,
like
I would throw Dishonored in there, but
kind
of
Mirror's Edge. Dishonored, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Think that. That's kind of what they're doing with Perfect Dark.
This is your mother's Perfect Dark.
It looks good. But it also looks it wasn't super polished. It looked somewhat early in development, I think. And by accounts of what we've been told about that game and what's been reported in that game, I think that's still a long ways away. I think at best it's 2 years away, if not 3 or more.
Okay.
I feel the same about State of Decay. I think State of Decay is at best 2 years away. I wouldn't be surprised if Gears of War ships sooner than people think because the Coalition is awesome. Like they do shit like that. But they announced this game, and I think it's several years away. I'm not exactly sure. When we talked about the Empire, between Gears, Perfect Dark, and State of Decay, I don't know if all of those were. I don't know how many of those were playing on Series X. And how many of those things
you're not playing any of them on Series X. You're playing them on PC. So I mean,
well, generally speaking, I don't know how many of those things aren't being played on next iterations of hardware config.
No.
Because
I mean, everybody's just going to keep their current consoles, kind of like they did with this generation. So they're still going to be playing them on Series X.
Well, apparently we're about to get a Pro, so we'll see if they'll just buy those.
They're getting a Pro, Series Xbox Pro.
No, the PS5 Pro. Maybe you can play some of the stuff on that. Who knows?
Yes, 5.5.
PS5.
That'd be so funny if they actually call it. I would love that. I would love that more than anything else. If instead of calling it a Pro or anything, they literally just call it a PS5.5 or like PS5 squared. They just add like a little fucking thing to it, and they're like, it's just this much better. That shit would be hilarious. What is it supposed to be? 33% faster if it was like PS5.33? It's just funny. It's 33% better.
Yeah.
33% more teraflops.
Yeah, that's what it is. So many teraflops. I hope we get an Astrobot teraflop song.
Yes. Yes.
A ray tracing song.
Give it to me.
A whole, like he's walking in like a house of mirrors, and the whole song is about ray tracing, how reflective and everything is.
That would be amazing.
Okay, I gotta go. It's dinner time. It's time for me to get the hell out of here.
That's enough of that.
It's only almost 1 o'clock.
That's enough. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Please, until next time, play some video games.
Nobody's sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.